where some of y'all saw him. In fact, Magic Beans saw 5 of them, beat 5 of them, saw 6 in total. Inkling beat 4 of them, saw 6 in total as well. I want to keep an eye out for Magic Beans because they do have wins against teams we're going to see today. I mean, they beat Disgusting Pickup Team, which is Delicious Steak Dinner, but it also is a few different names. There's Luminescence that they've also beat. They both beat them they beat both of them 2-1. So lots of stuff to expect here from Magic Beans. Ink League has struggled against these types of Alpha Bracket teams. They've lost to Citronade and No Sticks, but they did make it here, and they've showed that they deserve to be here. So now is the best time for you to say, all right, this is what we can do. Let's see what we can show y'all. Or y'all see what we can show y'all.
Totally. And Nito, I think, unfortunately, our introduction was heard by no one.
Uh-oh.
We were speaking into the void there for a couple of minutes, but you know what? That's okay. We're back on live now. If you missed it already, it's Saf and Nito on the mic with Sam Puris here as our streamer today. We are in Low Ink Alpha Bracket Day 2, October 2025. Nito just gave a phenomenal breakdown of the two teams we're looking at here this morning, this afternoon, whatever time it is for you. Like a very good breakdown. And I'm sad that you kind of had to miss the first half of it, but Nito, you really got me going in the second half. Can you give me an explanation for those of us that missed it one more time from the top?
Real quick, Magic Beans came out of day 1 5-1. Ink League came out 4-2. Magic Beans does have wins against Alpha Bracket teams already. You got Disgusting Pickup Team and Luminescence. They beat both of them 2-1. Ink League has 2 of their losses in courtesy of Alpha Bracket teams, Citronade 2 and No Sticks Allowed. Or No Sticks players rather. So you're going to see what Inkling can do in the actual Alpha Bracket situation against another Alpha Bracket team. We'll see what that result means today, right now.
Yeah, and also kind of a tense matchup because according to the seeding council, this is seeds 14 and 15 we're seeing go head-to-head here in the first round of Alpha Bracket today. And reminder, which Nito, as we know, when we make it to day 2 of Low Ink, we are in the counter-picking situation. So we're opening on Splatzone's Hagglefish Market. For those of you back sitting at home being like, what the heck is a counter-pick? Well, let me tell you. So Splatzone's Hagglefish Market is what we're opening on. Let's say Magic Beans is the ones that are victorious in this round. That would mean that Ink Leak is on the counter-picking seat. They still have the option to pick the same map and game mode, I believe, if they would like. However, if Magic Beans were to be on the counter-picking scenario, Magic Beans could not pick Splatzones or Hagglefish Market as their next pick because they have already won on it previously. It's a best of 3 here. Looking ahead with this counter pick situation. And Nito, one thing I want to point out, for me, it would seem that Magic Beans is actually not only FTIU banned, but our late and great Little Squid League banned as well. So they're looking ahead here to try to actually cap that lower level tournament bandwagon continuation, if you will. I'm trying to find the right word, Nito. I'm thinking about pickles.
I mean, are we all? Today's a great day to think about pickles, and we're only going to give you all we have to know about pickles later on, which there's a lot, so go ahead and stay strapped in. And go ahead and strap in, because we got game 1, match 1 heading your way. We can start things off with Splatzone's Hagglefish Market.
Yes, and with Magic Beans coming out of the spawn here, we do see that Nutty is going to be on that Splooshomatic. It's one of their best weapons in their 2-weapon arsenal, the other being a Splattershot Pro, so very distinct weapon pool here. However, it's going to be Ink League that is first to make the statement on taking the cap on the zone first, with 2 members going down here. That's Town zooming into the center stage here, trying to cause a little bit of distraction. Void is going to have to back up, and an unfortunate jump in too for the members of Ink League. Magic Beans is going to turn it around.
Excellent work there by Magic Beans to start off Town with the Tetra Dualies. Has some back up there with the Ink back, has some back up there with the rest of Magic Beans coming through. And look at how far up they are already. They have made their claim on this team, on this match, on this team even. Nutty making some good work of that Ultra Stamp, but the damage has been done well ahead of the points, well ahead of map control. They are doing excellent here, South.
Yeah, totally. And I like to see that Magic Beans is not going to be letting go of any pressure here, especially with 3 members going down. That cooler did get popped, but not shortly before the wipeout is being initiated onto Ink Leak. Ink Leak is just stuck in the spawning area at this moment. You could see in the corner that the stamp was able to go out and cause a little bit of distraction, and actually breaking through to the other side. That Sailor and Void coming in to try to cap over the zone. Huge penalty being initiated on Magic Beans, Nito.
But now we're going to need to watch out for Coral here with the stamp coming in from behind. There's already 2 players down from Inkling. We're going to see what they can do with that stamp later on. As we see Nutty here trying to charge this Ultra Stamp. This Ultra Stamp could be very dangerous from Inkling rather. Magic Beans has been doing fairly well, trying to keep it out, trying to make sure it is something that Inkling is forced to stick back with. Almost gets this pencil here, but Inkling still trying to find their way back in. They did attempt to use 2 specials here to try to get the zone, and they did get the zone, but there's another few to get them back in. Nothing there yet, and that's been their problem.
Yeah, and I think that the hammer, unfortunately, it seemed like a little bit of a longer-sided throw, if you will, kind of going past the zone and not really hitting the marker that they were looking for there, unfortunately. But Magic Beans having 2, or actually make it 1 member pushed up into the spawning area. You could see the 10th player is actually going to push back and jump out of harm's way here, as Ink Leak is going to be taking the zone once again. And there are beacons on the field, Nito, so Magic Beans is going to be really quick to be jumping back into the zone here.
And what they've been doing excellently here is making best use of their map control. They spread themselves out so well that there's always somebody nearby, but they can just rely on their specials, their weapons, and their skill to keep that map control. So those beacons are going to be dangerous here. And so is this counterplay with the reslider from another reslider. It's Town here with the reslider to get that pick, and it's Inkling with the zone for now. Who knows how long that's going to last. I like the ink back pop here. You get at least 2 players trapped in, and now everybody knows that Breadfinger's right there. Magic Beans cleans that up.
Yeah, really quick collapsibility coming from Magic Beans on any player of Ink Leak that tends to leak through, if you will, Nito. But at the top of the moment here, you can see that there are all the players of Ink Leak trying to get out of the zone here, or I guess more so out of their spawning area. They're coming down into the court area. Deca is laying down a bunch of paint with this pencil here. Cooler is online, and actually so is Reef Slider at that. So tons of special building coming out, and they are going to Reef Slide for Reef Slide, but Magic Beans is going to be the loser in that battle. However, it seems to me that the 10 and Town are really quick to follow up here, so still Magic Beans having a firm hold.
And the thing I'm noticing here is that whenever Inkling tries to go for something like that, it doesn't seem like it's out of coordination, but rather it's out of, okay, we need to do this, we need to get zoned because they're about to KO. And to their credit, they did get it, but these penalty points are going down fast. Inkling may actually be able to capture the zone here yet again if they can get enough paint down, and they do. They just need to be working more together. I don't see enough of that yet, but they are seeing a little bit more of it here, getting 2 of these fights onto the side, and it seems to work out just a little better there playing it together.
Yeah, I think Nutty was kind of aiming down a little bit with that stamp throw. It looked like there wasn't, they couldn't really quite find the marker they were looking for. But once again, multiple members of Ink Leak are staggering back out of the spawning area. They keep getting taken down 1 by 1 by the folks of Magic Beans. Nutty and Town over there kind of collapsing in on 1 player. Magic Beans has had phenomenal coordination by executing 2v1s on Ink Leak continuously and able to just corral the folks of Ink Leak, leading them to the first win on game 1.
Beautiful work there by Magic Beans. I think after a while, after that first push, you get so many points that you start thinking, all right, well, all we need to do is sit back. We're going to let them try to come to us. And Inkling, to that point, fed in that very well because Inkling was trying to make so many plays just to make sure they could stop the bleeding there in that Splat Zones game. And they did to some extent. Inkling, however, needs just a bit more working together, a bit more timing on that. And I think that's what's going to help them out here. But now they have the benefit of the counter pick. We did talk about that earlier, Seth. Lots of stuff that you can get from a counter pick. Make sure you can get something that favors your play style, or make sure you can get something that maybe works against them.
And one thing I really appreciate, Nito, is that their tent player was playing blindfolded. So you have to commend somebody like that kind of just has the very similar to Toph from the Last Airbender, if you will, just has the senses of feeling the ground and vibrations to make sure that you can successfully take your team to victory. But again, so Inkling being on the counter picking seat, they have to decide map and mode here based on what we have in the map list map pool for this month's low ink. But Nito, one of the things that I'd love to actually share with you is that there's so many different foods that you can pickle. And pickling, for those of you out there that are curious, pickling is different than fermenting. Those are two different things.
That is true, Elder. You can ferment pickles, but they are often cured in open outdoor vats, which means they are getting all that power from nature, from the sun. So there's a lot that pickles have that go into the food that you eat. So lots of stuff to go in there. UV rays, infrared rays, those help clear out all the nasty stuff, such as what Inkling's going to try to do here against Magic Beans. Make sure they can try to clear out effectively and make sure they have some space to get back in, which is what they might be wanting to do here with this counter pick. That was
yes,
smooth. No, it wasn't.
And perhaps Magic Beans has created the anaerobic conditions of salt, which is creating an environment that is really successful for fermentation. So perhaps Inkling could be feeling a little bit salty after this first round. We're not really sure. But hopefully whatever is decided for their counter pick can actually put them back in the driver's seat moving forward in this round one conditions here. But they need lactic acid and really good, in the absence of oxygen, I guess in Inkling's case here, with having to be on the counter-picking side, that allows lactic acid and bacteria to thrive and perform in the fermentation process. So perhaps Inkling just needs the encouragement of bacteria and the lack of oxygen in order that, like, perhaps this is where they are going to thrive and perform, is what I'm trying to say.
And when you thrive, when you perform, you do need hydration, which is where pickle juice comes in. And I just now realized that there is an actual brand called pickle juice, so apologies to IPL. I will cover all of the, whatever kind of costs come out of copyright claims. But regardless, pickle juice is a good hydrating liquid rather, that does help when it comes to moments of high heat, Texas summer, Texas winter, because God knows it's still warm. But regardless, the point I'm trying to make here is that there's a lot you can do with pickle juice and how hydrating it could be. So that's probably what Inkling is drinking on while thinking about this counter pick, because we are still waiting their counter pick, and I actually think we got this. I'm looking straight at Sendo, and it tells me we have it right now. Tower control on Ship-Shaped Cargo Co. coming up next.
Lots of pickle juice drinking in order to make the decision here, Nito. So moving into the tower control ship-shaped cargo, I'm imagining that some of these cargo containers are holding some of the pickling and pickles that we are discussing here right now. Which I don't know if people know, but there are so many different things that you can pickle. You can pickle almost any type of food. You can pickle almost any thing, animate object, if you'd like. So if you want to try pickling a rock, you totally could. I'm not sure how that would turn out for you. It might smell, but that's an inorganic thing, or I guess it is organic. It's a thing that you can't really eat necessarily. But if you wanted to go as far as to pickle other objects, you certainly could, but probably not recommended.
You can pickle this counter pick if you want, and that's what Magic Beans probably wants to do here. Ship-Shaped Cargo Co. Let's talk about the map real quick. Ship-Shaped Cargo Co. is one that even I, having played this game for too many years, have failed to understand, because Ship-Shaped Cargo Co. is, especially with tower control, I think is a map where it feels a lot like the good old Schellendorf Museum, but without the glass barrier ceiling thing. And it feels like that because it's all a straight line, but it's also the fact that all of these tower checkpoints are hard to defend against. And we're gonna actually look at the comps coming out here. Is that another Dreadringer?
Oh, do. It certainly is. It's the newest Dreadringer of the additions of weapons coming out here on the side of Inkling. That's with Void there. And also, we still are seeing a very similar weapon composition coming out from Magic Beans, except we are going to be trading that Sploosh-O-Matic out for that Pro that I was talking about earlier coming out from Nutty. So opting for a little bit more range, and also I see the S-Blast 91 also making an appearance here. Double sword on the side of Inkling, and already with the fights being initiated, missiles are going to come out from Magic Beans. However, Inkling is looking to have the advantage in terms of numbers here, and are going to slowly take the tower in a very slim lead.
Now this is the kind of patience I was looking for Inkling. They're working slowly here, but they're working together. They're moving together. And that's what I like from Coral there. Waiting until we got to that checkpoint to start putting pressure all the way up front of Magic Beans, because Inkling knows when Magic Beans is able to get past your own line of defense, it's any question is what can happen afterwards. So Inkling take the initiative here. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that's going to be huge coming in as we round our way to checkpoint number 2. Dreadringer has its special online and ready to use. Void is kind of just waiting for the right moment here as we enter single digit, and the Crab Tank is going to be where that comes into full force. You can see that 3 members have now been called out on Magic Beans, but not quite enough, as the S-Blast is going to shut down the pressure from the Crab Tank. 3 points left on the board for Inkling to try to close it out here. Magic Beans having to climb all the way from the base of the mountain, looking to try to reach the peak.
And they're so close to the peak there, but Magic Beans cleaning things up very well here. I mean, look at how much paint they have on the ground now. They have moved together fairly quick, not even fairly quickly, very quickly, rather. I'm almost running out of adjectives to say here, but Magic Beans doing what it takes to get themselves back into position here, using that tent to get that ink back in. And now the Booyah comes out. Look at how far back they are. Inkling is all the way back in their enemy base, and now you have a blaster to deal with. That is dangerous work there from Magic Beans. But they do have to back up here. Nutty having to back up, and now Town trying to get some picks there, and they do. But Magic Beans working very quickly here, and already still well within striking distance.
Yeah, they were really patient on letting people jump back in. They didn't want to overextend themselves. Much like the art of fermentation, Nito, it takes time and patience. And that's what Magic Beans is exuding right here as we enter the break in checkpoint number 2. Just barely, with Crazy getting taken out. Nutty's going to be jumping back in, though. And the tent is also going to be jumping back in. So the tower is still in the full hands of Magic Beans here. But also with the missiles coming out, that's going to be tough. And it's actually a lead loss, a very swift lead loss from the folks of Inkling. Magic Beans is going to close us out 2-0. Nito, the stacking of specials in those final seconds by Magic Beans, I mean, oh my goodness. Talk about strength in numbers with this one.
I know I was talking earlier and it said about how well Inkling was moving together. Talk about Magic Beans doing everything together. This is what you want to see from higher level teams, is how well they can work together, how well they just know, all right, I know my teammate's going to pop this here. I know my teammate's going to throw this Booyah bomb here. I know everybody's going here. I know where everybody is. So I see a lot of that with that final push that Magic Beans had. Let's just corner everyone near their own spawn. That way, even if we get wiped, we get a three down situation, we can just bring everyone back very quickly. I mean, it doesn't really matter how many we lose in a fight. That is incredible stuff from Magic Beans. Inkling, for all it's worth, did improve greatly there, but Magic Beans, I mean, is there enough that can be said about them? I think there was a lot that happened so quickly, but there was a lot to unpack. I think the point there is that they worked so well together and just completely overwhelmed Inkling.
Well, from what I could see kind of in those final moments when Magic Beans had tower on the side of Inkling, it was, for me, honestly, the initiation of that momentum was Town coming in and rolling and getting that pick in the center field, where Crab Tank was just barely able to reach them. They definitely had sustained a lot of damage from Crab Tank coming out from Inkling, but not quite enough for Town to still stay alive and actually take some of the distraction down into that left pit area. But it was soon after that we kind of just saw the momentum change change with Magic Beans. We saw a lot of special stacking. That Booyah Bomb corralling 3 players of Inkling behind the final checkpoint and over to the left side. I mean, absolutely huge. And also somebody else coming in to follow up and attack the 3 players that were completely corralled into that corner. I mean, just a phenomenal use of specials, but also you can very plainly tell that there is synergy at hand with Magic Beans. So Magic Beans moving on into the second round here, according to Senda. We still are waiting for a couple more matches to get finished up here, but it looks like in a different part of the bracket you have Insecure Connection +2 triumphing 2-0 over Cowboy Vac Pop. So Cowboy Vac Pop getting knocked down into the loser side of things for now, but Insecure Cowboys moving up forward. Fun PB taking a 2-0 over 2 Billion Lions, kind of waiting for the victor of the Star Guardians and Pixel Per Ink match, which is 1-1 currently, so looking good there for somebody. Probably something pretty intense going on in there, but obviously, unfortunately, we can't jump in there just yet to show you what's going on. And then you have your number 1 seed Kittens versus Blackout, also in a 1-1 situation. Somebody waiting to go against Magic Beans here once that match finishes up as well. So a pretty even split here, Nito, between more intense bouts of the 1-1 scenario, but going into the 2-0. Very, very mixed match and about even.
And that's very interesting, that Kittens and Blackout match, because Kittens placed 4th in August version of August edition of Low Ink. So that is an interesting result from Blackout here. The only other team that placed higher than them would be Octo Express, but they're going to be in beta brackets. So Kittens going 1-1 against Blackout is going to be a match to watch there. Other matches I'd want to look out for is going to be Disgusting Pickup Team and Insecure Connection. That's going to be pretty interesting too. Disgusting Pickup Team was one of those teams that ended up, I believe, 4-2. So seeing them go a little higher into the bracket is going to be another thing I'd want to watch out for. But I don't know, Kittens versus Blackout here. That is the match to watch now, because again, Kittens was the highest placing team out of all the teams we're seeing here in the alpha bracket. So I don't know, a 1-1 result, that's certainly something I want to watch out for.
Right, and especially because there's only 2 games that you can actually realistically win. Your chances of moving forward are sometimes pretty slim, just considering you don't really have that much space to try to win. You really have to do your best and show your best right out the starting gate. So the fact that we have multiple 1-1 matches means that there is really a grander story that's being told that we just don't get to see quite yet over on the broadcasting desk here. But either way, you also have Luminescence going 1-1 currently against no stick players. Luminescence also has been having a really good, I don't know if you can't even, Nito, you can't even call it a season play time, because it's if you just keep coming back to Low Ink over and over again, I mean, it's just, what do you even call that? A run? Consistency, perhaps?
Yeah, I would call it consistency. I mean, if anything's consistent, it's that Americans eat a lot of pickles per day and per month and per week. So there's the same amount of consistency as what you want to see in Low Ink. I mean, there's obviously teams that have shown that. Kittens, Star Guardians, Disgusting Pickup Teams, those are all teams that we watch out for a lot. Go to beta bracket, we see some other teams that have been doing really well here. Rest in the Milky Way is a team we saw yesterday, so they don't seem to be doing too hot here in round 1, as much as I'm talking about them. But there's a lot of other teams that we're seeing here. Octo Express trying to continue their streak of consistency, at least make sure they can clear out this beta bracket, make sure they can still let put the rest of the Low Ink pool on watch. High alert.
High alert for sure. And also looking at the beta bracket of who's there, you have Coelacanth, Coelacanth, Coelacanth. Oh, ooh! I like that. I like that they're just below land crabs too. I feel like that's very poetic in its own way. And then you also have Downshift versus Gabrochin. Wait, hold on. Hold the phone. What does that say? Is this German?
Oh no! Oh, I can't say that. I mean, maybe I can. Hold on. No. Chat, believe in me. I got this. Where's this beta bracket? I could get the full name. Do I want to try? Actually, yes. Gebrochen Bienro.
Oh,
I'm sorry to Germany.
I like your Gebrochen.
I mean, that's not. Is that how it's done? I'm not sure. Anyway, apologies to Germany.
I think you did them right. I think you did them right. At least you tried, and I think that's what's important, is you put your best foot forward and you tried, much like how Inkling did earlier against Magic Beans, but unfortunately going down to the loser's side of things. Much like a lot of people here in Beta Bracket who put their best foot forward, but unfortunately, even sometimes some of us have to end up in Beta Bracket, which it happens, but also still a really good good place and a good thing to end up in, if you ask me. So, and in the day 2 seed of things, because especially if you put your best out there and you don't end up in day 2, that can really sting a little bit. But hey, you know what? You can always come back next month, and that is a-okay. Nito, I think we talked a little bit previously about different types of pickling, and I remember we talked really, really deeply about different things you can pickle, and I told you, you can in fact pickle eggs.
Oh, eggs. Huh. Okay. Let's go over that actually. How would we pickle eggs?
So I believe you do. As far as I understand, you do have to hard boil them. So they are a hard boiled egg. But then your normal mix of ingredients and things, vinegar and brine, if you will, to add into the jar to allow the pickling to commence and ferment. But additionally, you can actually add all sorts of different things, and you can pickle eggs with beets, and that will turn your eggs that pinkish color just like a beet will. But also, I think the properties that come from pickling a beet, and like with the salt kind of pulling out a lot of the moisture and having that go into the eggs, it can really change the flavor composition of your eggs by adding it in with a different type of vegetable. But hey Nito, I think our next match has now finally been decided per Pixel Inc. and Fun PB! I love a fun PB.
PB! Private battles are so fun, and you know what else is fun? Going 6-0 in group stage, which is what Fun PB did.
Ooh.
So I like looking at teams that go 6-0 undefeated in groups, but that's also scary. A scary position to be. I'll be honest, because not only do you have everybody's eye, everyone on Alpha Bracket, their eyes are all on you. Secondly, historically, 6-0 teams end up falling out somewhere early on, and that's just how low ink is. That being said, Fun PB is a team that won every game they played in Swiss. So I don't know what that says. Maybe we're due for... You know what? Nope. Commentator won't curse today. Let's just go ahead and see what happens in the game. Fun PB though, all I'm saying is they won absolutely every game they played.
Yeah, in Fun PB too, you have some familiar faces here. You have at least a little bit of a sprinkle from Krill Switch, a different team that tends to be a low ink Gauntlet champion. You also have Nadra there that is kind of acting, I believe, as the captain seat for Fun PB, and they are on Daybreak with a bunch of different folks as well. So got a good little pickup. Fun PB, fun pickling bros happening with Fun PB, and a good mix of folks coming in on our first match, which we are opening on Splatzones again. Nito, I hope you have your all-inclusive bracelet, because Mahi Mahi Resort does have an all-you-can-eat type of buffet situation. Ooh. And I bet you anything there's going to be some type of pickled cuisine there.
I would hope so, because that's the name of the game today. I mean, heck, call it name of the game. Shakespeare. You talk about prose, we talk about Shakespeare. Shakespeare coined a phrase in a pickle a long time ago in a 1611 play called The Tempest, where he said, "How camest thou in this pickle?" To which Trinculo responds, "I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear me will never be out of my bones." I don't know that phrase, by the way. It was on another screen, so I used that. And there you go. Shakespeare coined a phrase in a pickle. So he wrote prose. He's one of the greatest writers, I believe. So I don't know. I don't know much about writing.
Nito, actually something else I want to point out for the opposing team of Per Pixel Inc. Per Pixel Inc. had a 3-0 against Luminescence yesterday during the Swiss stage, and Luminescence is finding themselves in the Alpha Bracket right next to them. So that's always an interesting result to kind of see. Luminescence, though, getting knocked down into the loser side of things by No Stick players. No Stick players now going against Low State. Hold on, I can't see the whole name. Los de Apeso.
Los de
So,
Apis. Ah,
Is
okay,
that
I see what
some?
you're saying.
Is that something the cash, the peso, the I haven't studied Spanish in so long, Nito. If you don't use it, you lose it, folks. Much like if you don't use your pickling knowledge to ferment your foods, if you don't use it, you lose it. So make sure you always practice language if you are practicing language. Nito, the comp on Per Pixel Ink. I love a wellstring and
Yes.
umbrella.
I love Pixel for Ink because I actually saw them yesterday. We all saw them yesterday. We were on part of the day one stream. But we're seeing them right now. This is something I wanted to point out at the beginning here. They're of such an interesting lineup here. I mean, you see the recycled umbrella right now. That's a weapon you don't see often. The Wellspring, another weapon you don't see often. And then you've got your regulars here, the S-Blast, the Splash. But Pixel per Link knows their comps so well. They make it work so well. I'm glad that everyone's going to be able to see it here. But FunBB currently the team to watch right now.
Yeah, Fun PV having Gumshoe jump in here with the tent is huge. Look at that, clearing the way. The back is also going to come out, totally holding down the left-hand side here. But Robin is going to clean things up with 2 different picks coming out with that stamp and going to use Wellstring to their advantage to drop some paint down. The jumps are going to come in from Fun PV with the tent also defending. Phenomenal defensive tactics by Gumshoe. You really got to hold it down if you have your folks jumping in, and you know that you can have the space to defend them, but still it's going to be Fun PV all the way down holding on to zone here. No penalty in sight, Nito.
Yep, and there's still no loss of the zone in sight either for Fun PV. Pixel per Link just trying to find all the ways they could to get themselves in. Gumshoe, though, holding things out. This is a rather aggressive 10 umbrella that I'm seeing here from Gumshoe. Not something I see too often. And somehow doesn't get hit by that stamp throw. That is incredible here. Puts the ink back right in the face of Pixel per Link. And that is one heck of a way to ensure the KO for your team.
Yeah, and another thing I want to point out, according to seeding, Fun PB is the number 2 seed currently in this tournament right now. Pixel per Ink being seeded 32. So really phenomenal standing ground for Pixel per Ink. They're kind of the underdog moving through this alpha bracket according to seeding right now. And going 1-0 so far against Fun PB. That's okay. That's okay. We got to regroup, putting themselves in the counter-picking scenario. Perhaps this is where you want to be, where you want your advantage to be. Maybe Pixel per Ink, Splat Zones is not quite the best opening for them potentially. And so doing something different here, maybe trying to change the counter-pick and flip the script a bit, this could be a really advantageous spot for them to be in. But Nito, I think that if Fun PB just kind of locked it down really early on in the game there. I mean, not to say that Pixel per Ink didn't get any points on the board, because that's certainly not the case at all. We at least almost got past 40 points for a short time there. So definitely the tools for success are on the table here. However, I think that the more serious case is that Fun PB was able to kind of lock it in on their spawning ground pretty quickly, and kind of just toppled from there. So looking ahead, I think what are kind of the keys for success for Pixel per Ink if you want to try to turn this around?
One of the more unfortunate parts of Pixel per Link is that you did only have the Wellstring and the Splash that could paint reliably for you. I mean, you're going up against the teams that their weapons were able to hold whatever control the map they had so well there, to where any drop that Pixel per Ink tried to make just didn't work out too well. So Pixel per Ink could use some more ping, and I do want to see who they have active, because you did have a Dualies player, Manny Panny, that I saw yesterday, and they have all the keys that they need there. I would also use that player a lot, maybe just other players on your team, just to make sure you can make sure you're engaging Fun PV in a way that you will ensure a 2v1 will happen at some point. I feel like there's too many things going on either side. Anytime I look at a screen, there's too many things going on either side. So, okay, this is interesting. Tower control ship-shaped counterpick yet again. This is the second time we've seen this today, Saf.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there is a pattern here. And perhaps, Nito, it's what I alluded to earlier. There could be so many different cargo containers here with different things that have been pickled. And I'm wondering if Pixel per Ink was like, hold on, let me get a closer look at that again. We didn't get to spend enough time there to kind of search the ship for the cargo that contains the pickled goods. So let's try to return it back here, and tower control keeps us at a consistent pace for doing just that. We don't have to rush it like Rainmaker. We don't have to try to throw a bunch of stuff around like we do in Clan Blitz. We can really just take our time with this one. However, I like once again, like I was saying, moving forward against Fun PB, I think Pixel Per Ink is really going to have to lock down defensive maneuvering here because once Fun PB was able to topple the defense, it was kind of game over in curtains for Pixel Per Ink. So we still have the Tent Umbrella. We are bringing out the Dreadringer and Meat Boy. That is a Clash Blaster, Nito.
Oh my goodness, Noob Tube, as I like to. One of many Noob Tubes you'll see in this game, but there has to be something that Fun PB is planning with this. If you're going to go for weapons that cover their own space very well, why not bring out a blaster? Why not bring out the Clash Blaster? The Clash Blaster paints or shoots out so fast that anything Meat Boy tries to approach, you have to make sure you keep that distance with him. Well, speaking of distance, we have this Trizuki here from Meat Boy. Doji able to cover that. Boy, very vulnerable, by the way, but they're going to be 2v1 there on the corner there. That's a wipeout for Fun PB. Fun PB is a fun team to watch, actually, and I'm starting to see why they went undefeated, completely undefeated in day one.
Yeah, they certainly are telling us how that day one went. Entering into day two here, you have Gumshoe standing on the tower with the back. Jodek is going to try to round from the backside, though, and actually try to maintain their distance, causing some distractionary measures against Pixel Per Ink. But Nito, it wasn't quite enough. I mean, it was a speedy recovery coming from Fun PB. They want to close it out right now. Finally, another 2-0 situation. Entering into the third round here, Pixel Per Ink getting knocked down to the loser side of things. And like I said, Pixel Per Ink was kind of the underdog in this situation. They're the lowest seed that has made it into the alpha bracket stage here. So they're going to have to try to fight their way back up through once again on the loser side of things. Fun PB going to be moving on.
That's really interesting because there are matches that happen on any stream where you will watch it, look away for 1 second, and all of a sudden the whole thing's over. Fun PB, whenever you see a game like that, it happens so cleanly that you don't notice something's actually happening on the screen there. Fun PB just closed everything up from Pixel Per Ink so well. It's like they were literally closing their curtains on them. Pixel Per Ink has to go for some random play where they try to send someone on the outside. In that case, it was a splash. See what they can do with that. Hope they can get somebody else to tower, because otherwise you're not getting out of the control Fun PB had there. And that's what we saw. That was incredible work there from Fun PB to the point where I almost didn't notice it. If I hadn't been paying attention, I would have been like, all right, bye. Sorry.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was sweating a little bit for Meat Boy at the one perspective we had of them when they were trying to launch Trizuka at the recycled Brella, and I love that they broke the shield twice, but like still, recycled Brella was unharmed until Zealds kind of came in and helped them finish the job with the paintbrush and kind of locked it in there. But I was getting a little nervous for Meat Boy. I was getting a little nervous. The Brella was just blocking their really incredible Zuka shots, and especially at point blank range like that. You gotta admire the quick thinking of like trying to defend yourself, and what better way to do that than with an umbrella. So 2-0 for Fun PB. Looking at the bracket once again, you have no stick players having 1 win currently against Los de Peso. And down below you have Disgusting Pickup Team 2-0 Insecure Connection. Insecure Connection, we were also kind of looking forward to seeing a little bit more. Insecure Connection is also going to be knocked down into the loser side of things, so Disgusting Pickup Team is going to be moving on into the semifinals. Fun PB on the opposite side there, Magic Beans having a 1-0 win over Kittens currently. Which, again, is very, very interesting to me, Nito, considering Kittens is kind of our #1 seed currently in this tournament. And it's not being made easy for them. They've been kind of handed difficulty after difficulty so far in this tournament here, and Magic Beans is also going to continue that narrative by taking at least 1 win over them.
In words said by famous Destiny Troops player Popgun, Kittens went into August being the hunter, and now they're being the hunted. And you're seeing it very clearly here in the bracket. drop one against Blackout, you drop one against Magic Beans. So now it's all of a sudden it's now a question of like, all right, while Kittens is now having to go through this gauntlet. Meanwhile, you have teams like Fun PB who are just clearing everything in their path, making well on a promise that this is going to be a perfect loading so far. I mean, Kittens or Magic Beans, regardless of whatever team comes up, it's going to be a very difficult path for them coming out of semifinals. But regardless, Magic Beans making their case for why they should be the ones moving up, and we're going to see more of them later on. But as we go to the losers bracket to see which teams are going to make their way out of it. I've seen a lot of great losers bracket runs in my time, so you can expect to see some here. Cowboy Vagpop taking out Starfish 2-0. Luminescence actually trying to get rid of Citronate 2 early on. Got 1-0 here. It's going to be best of 3 all the way up until, I believe it's actually all the way up to, well, yes, loser bracket finals. That's going to be best of 5. So very short stuff here, but good stuff nonetheless.
Yeah, and I appreciate that 2 Billion Lines is also trying to do something a little bit different here. But here, looking at beta bracket today, so you have Downshift getting knocked out into their own losers bracket by Gerbrochen when Ellipses, because I can't see the full name, I'm so sorry. Now going to be going against No Fate. You have Octo Express 1-0 over Spirit Shackle. Landcrabs and Octaves have not began yet, but we will be getting that match started shortly. Snowfall continuing to 2-0 over Inkception. Snowfall looking ahead in the semifinals for Landcrabs or Octaves to be their next conquer and or battle to be fighting. Exciting stuff happening over in beta bracket, in my opinion, Nito. I mean, I know we're here chilling in alpha bracket, and alpha bracket is also going to be exciting because you have two or three very strong teams kind of trying to come to the forefront here. But beta bracket too, also having a very interesting story and a pretty equal mix of like 1-2 to 2-0, very similarly to what we saw earlier in alpha bracket.
And there is a lot of reasons why most of the matches you're going to see right now have been 2-0, because this is the point of the tournament where, all right, stay tuned, trying to get back into the swing of things. If you're one of those teams like Fun PB, if you're one of those teams like Magic Beans, and maybe it's like, all right, we already know what to expect. If you're a team like, I don't know, Inception, in the case of beta bracket, you already kind of know what to expect, although you did lose that one against Snowfall, but maybe you didn't know what to expect. But that was the previous stage. Now you're in the stage where it's like, all right, it has to be like every one match at a time. That's what I always tell teams. That's what I tell Green Corn, one match at a time, especially with double bracket or double elimination brackets, just one game at a time. You still have another chance if you go to losers bracket, but let's just take it one game at a time. Make sure you're winning at each and everything you come across in every match. Fun PB doing it fairly well here, but beta bracket, we're still seeing how things play out in the beta bracket. Downshift actually making the way in.
Yeah, Downshift making a 2-0 win in the loser side of things, getting knocked down immediately into losers, but immediately also moving forward in the losers bracket with a 2-0 win. Love to see that. Rest in Milky Way is trying to find an answer here for Saturn's Ring. Saturn's Ring in advantage, having one win over them, and it looks like Squids of Kali. Again, the names get cut off. I'm so sorry. Coelacanth versus Squids at the top there in a 0-0 fashion. They're also kind of waiting to find out the victor to go against their buys in round 2 by Vivid Wave or I guess not a buy, but they got knocked down there a little bit earlier, so they kind of get a chance to rest, waiting for losers round 1 to get started here in the beta bracket side of things. But it looks to me like we're still waiting for Kittens and Magic Beans to kind of decide the victor of the current match that's going on here. And like we said before, Disgusting Pickup Team is going to be moving on. They 2-0'd Insecure Connection, which is pretty astounding there. And we're still waiting on No Sticks and Los de Pesos to figure out who's the winner there. So that's the perfect time to segue into talking about Alpha Bracket, which, Nito, one thing I want to point out is Honorbound finding themselves in the Gamma Bracket stage. Honorbound, I believe before, was consistently finding themselves in the higher brackets. So kind of like, not so much how the Mighty have fallen. I don't really want to say that because Honorbound is still a very mighty team nonetheless. But it's interesting to see, I guess, if you were to see the graph of low ink to like time, it would be kind of all up and down for Honorbound.
Oh, of course. There's a lot of teams that are kind of in that same vein. I think the one that comes straight to my mind is going to be Hydra. Hydra is a team that you see go up and down, left and right, backwards and forwards. But it's one of those teams that they become low ink mainstays. I mean, at some point we saw Squid Killers and Ink kind of be in that same vein. Near the end of their reign here, low ink was one of those teams that were so close yet so far every month, in and out. So that's the storylines that you love seeing in low ink, is just making sure you know, all right, which team is going to make it just a little bit further this time. Which team am I going to see again that might go all the distance and make it to grand finals, or will this team finally break through, or will this new team that probably never heard of before win low ink, which tends to happen more often than not because I've been here too many. I've seen so much competitive Splatoon that it's like, yeah, this will happen, but then something completely different will happen, and I will be both right and wrong.
See, I'm still having a magnifying glass over what's happening in Alpha Bracket right now because Kittens and Magic Beans are currently 1-1. Again, which is very similar to what we saw with Kittens versus Blackout. They found themselves in a 1-1 scenario. So I said it once, I'll say it again, Nito. Kittens is having a heck of a time today trying to break through and make it out to the other side of the winner's side here. But as we enter into the semifinals, it would seem to me that our next match is actually going to be selected for us, and looking like it's going to be No Stick Players versus Disgusting Pickup Team. So I'm excited for you that we do get to hang out with Disgusting Pickup Team a little bit here. Whom also, it seems, had a really good Swiss day. They did have one instance where they got 3-0'd by Fun PB, actually, in the Swiss stage. And then they did also 1-2 with Magic Beans. So two teams that we got to see earlier today that are still moving and progressing along into the Alpha Bracket. So Disgusting Pickup Team may or may not re-meet their enemies later on down the line.
Yeah, no, I mean, No Sticks Players, you know what, we're gonna talk about their records real quick. No Sticks Players is the other team that went 6-0. Unlike Fun PB, it did have a few losses on the way, one against Drinking Valley and then one against, nope, just Drinking Valley. So you actually lost one game instead of 0.
Lost two games. They also lost 2-1 against Starfish. They dropped one game against them, but still came out on top.
Nearly missed that. But you did actually go 1-0 against teams like Kittens and Inkling, so hold the phone. We still have another team that could do some heavy damage here against a team like Disgusting Pickup Team, who are very much looking like the underdogs heading into this matchup here. I mean, you're going up against, not only are you going up against a 6-0 team, you're also 4-2, so you're one of those fringe Alpha Bracket teams, and maybe you didn't have as easy of a time getting yourself up to Alpha Bracket. You did go up against Fun PB, like Saf said, so, you know, going up against Fun PB seems to not be the activity of the weekend, but you did at least take one game off of Magic Beans. You went 3-0 against Octo Express, a team that may not be doing as well today, but Disgusting Pickup Team, another team to watch out for. If I'm No Sticks Players, just don't brush them off.
I mean, regardless of getting a couple losses in the Swiss stage, what I'm looking at here is that the set wins is still a 100% win rate. So regardless of dropping a game or two, your sets are still 8-8. You're still having a perfect record if you go up one metric. If you don't break it down too far into game by game, your metric is still pretty perfect. So top score coming from No Stick Players still in my eyes. And even with a map win of 87%, so they've won 87% of their games thus far, that's still a passing grade in my eyes. So No Stick Players, like you said, Nito, I think is going to provide a big challenge for Disgusting Pickup Team, and is going to try to force them to actually, like, not just like do their best, but it's gonna really force them to have to show up, if you will. You gotta show up with this one. And Splat Zones, once again, on Umami Ruins is what we're looking into, and it's going to be a double zone map for those of you at home that are maybe like, wait a minute, I've never seen this map before. I have no idea what we're looking at here. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking at for this match coming up. And we do enter a best of 5 situation now that we are in the semifinal seat. So a lot more at stake here, a lot more play time that you have to kind of go through in order to try to make your way through this match.
Absolutely. You know where you're based. You know where your path starts today. No 6 players and disgusting pickup team. Or, well, it already started, but your path continues with Splatoon Umami Ruins. And this is a map that I have seen create a lot of, I don't want to say controversy. That sounds like the wrong word to use here. But I want to say the right word here is some discussion. Because Splatoon's on Umami, I feel like is a team that is a map that you either love or hate, but when it comes to both of these teams, and really what you're trying to do here when you're already at semifinals, your mindset goes more towards, all right, look, whatever happens, we just need to keep it a buck. Let's just keep it on the game. I think we need to just focus on what we're doing against this disgusting pickup team. Regardless, Umami Ruins is a map that I personally like. Although I want to see how both of these teams react.
And to be fair as well, speaking of Umami Ruins in ancient times, fermentation was spontaneously discovered in about 10,000 BCE with an accidental preservation of dairy in a very hot climate. And then we've kind of seen the process get more and more refined in China in 7000 BCE with different beverages, Mesopotamia, Egypt, with beer actually in 5000 BCE. So we could maybe see the beginnings of the fermentation process here in Umami Ruins. Perhaps there's so much history to be learned. And speaking of making history here, No Stick Players is going to be the first to open us up.
Yeah, I just saw a restarter literally run somebody over from those players. So, disgusting pickup team, you've earned a wipeout, and you've also earned a vehicular manslaughter charge with it. So, disgusting pickup team now well in control of the zone here. Look at how far up they're going. We still see this sort of skirmishy roll from the Dreadringer on the side of the disgusting pickup team come out, but how effective will it be? Well, now everyone's backed up here. No Stick players take control of the zone yet again.
Yeah, there was a lot of reliance on that, what are they called? The block, the bumper, the whatever that is. That right there in front of Kawa. There was a lot of reliance there to try to defend so that Reef Slider could be initiated, but it wasn't quite enough. So Disgusting Pickup Team is going to be following up here, now maintaining a really good hold on both zones. The penalty is going to be gone. You can see Scammy is trying to see if they can break out here. They take Noxy down in the process. No penalty standing in the way, though, of Disgusting Pickup Team. And you have Scammy actually just looking in for the fights versus actually painting any zones here. And still, Zone has been in a neutral area for quite some time. Disgusting Pickup Team was able to follow up and take it back.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised here. I mean, this is Disgusting Pickup Team has one player all the way in the corner where No Sticks players is. That's a prime opportunity for No Sticks players to be like, all right, look, let's just send everyone past it. Let's just run past it. We can get the zone. We'll worry about this rush. We'll worry about this tent later. But of course, you did have some players respawning, so there's not. You didn't have everything you wanted to have at your disposal there immediately. But now it's more of a skirmishy one. This is actually kind of what I'm seeing here. All the gameplay, all the fighting is happening outside of the zone here. No one really has control of the zone yet. That's really surprising to me. It seems like everything's going on around this zone rather than outside of it.
Yeah, and even when stuff is happening on the outside, it's still Disgusting Pickup Team that is playing more towards the objective than No Stick players, which I'm wondering kind of what's the tactic here. Do you want to try to keep taking people's fight away from the zone? But it's not enough if you can't follow it up and still maintain what's happening on objective. It seems to me that they get at least one zone in possession, but then Disgusting Pickup Team is really quick to follow up. Finally, we see that turn around for No Stick players, but just briefly, Nito, as 2 people are taken down and Disgusting Pickup Team is here to stay.
And Disgusting Pickup Team making the most of what has been a chaotic situation. Both teams here. No Sticks players at least has Scammy here with the Kraken. Kraken could be very dangerous for him, but not there. As we see Disgusting Pickup Team yet again. Look at where they are again. This is where we saw the Dreadringer earlier, and see if this restarter picks it up anything else there, nothing there yet, and that's the danger of Reslider, making sure he know a getaway route, didn't have one there, but Scammy now still looking to cause some damage with this brush. Scammy has been dangerous with this brush before, but they're the only player left alive. That's the other key for Disgusting Pickup Team. With these fights that go off screen, Disgusting Pickup Team is winning most of them.
You can tell that Scammy maybe was the only one that ate some of their fermented foods this morning, as they're trying to kind of hold it down for the folks of No Stick players here, but Disgusting Pickup Team is one step ahead and clearly has all the keys to success here and probably all of the different things that they could pickle. Nito, I'm just going to start randomly naming all the things that you could pickle, and I'm going to start it off with beets.
Beets? What about the ones made by Dr. Dre?
Oh. That's a callback if I've ever heard one. Mushrooms. Green beans. Garlic.
Garlic.
What's the hot Italian giardiniera with like the mix of vegetables? You know what I'm talking about? That's a good one.
Giardiniera with the mix of vegetables. Oh goodness. I don't
radishes.
know. Radishes. Yes. That's
hot peppers. Okra.
Like the band? Hot peppers? Oh.
Those are the chili peppers. I think you're confused.
Okay.
Turnips. Squash.
Squash.
Carrots. Oh, I think I said that one already. Onions. Red onion. Zucchini.
Pickled onion. Alright. I'm learning a lot here. No. And I hope chat's learning a lot. Take your notes. Take your notes.
Brussels sprouts, in fact.
Ooh, okay, goodness.
Little spicy, little sour.
Broccoli?
Broccoli? Perhaps. Mayhaps. As we're waiting for the counter pick, we're just gonna keep naming different vegetables that you can pickle while we wait for counter picks.
You know, we already went through eggs, so we can't really say eggs again.
Yellow onion. So there was red onion.
I'll decide. We're gonna let you be the judge, jury, and please don't be the executioner. But, Disgusting Pickup Team, we are back live for y'all to see. When we were during our little unintended break, Disgusting Pickup Team currently picked up a second win against No Six players on the Tower Control Ship Shape counter pick. Lots of fun stuff there that we saw, Zaf, and maybe we got some exclusive access to unintentionally because we did subscribe to the IPL premium service. What is this counter pick that I just saw? Crab leg, okay.
It's where the money of your premium service is going towards. You have Crab Leg Capital and Clam Blitz. Everybody, welcome on back to the Lowing stream. Gather round, gather round. We're here again on Twitch. I know I think we over chatted and named so many vegetables that you could pickle. It inevitably crashed the stream from the stench of the vinegar and the brine that we're both kind of sitting in right now and giving you all of this knowledge on pickling. So we apologize for that. We apologize to IPL for that as well. The pickle talk got a little strong today and actually oversaturated what was happening on the stream. So going in to the third round here, Disgusting Pickup Team is up 2-0. They are currently eyeballing the 3-0 potentially against No Stick players here and moving on in the bracket. No Stick players is looking to even just try to salvage some kind of win, and they're hoping that Clam Blitz on Crab Leg Capital is going to be the way to do just that. But Nito, I really do feel like these days we're kind of seeing a return of some Splatoon 2 meta tactics because, my gosh, it seems to me that the missiles really are just trying to make themselves a staple again in this game.
If it's due to any weapon, it's going to be the Frozen Pro. Frozen Pro paints so well, and it takes so little to get those missiles back online that why not? I mean, let's bring back Splatoon 2 stuff. I mean, you have a pencil that in this game, you have a pencil that if you put it next to another player, it's so well for control. It does so well for control that it's really hard to play against the one player that the pencil is backing up. Now, if you're also playing with other weapons such as like a crab, those strikes will do very well. Inkzuka, those strikes will work very well. Make that Inkzuka have to panic. There is a lot that the strikes can do, the missiles rather, can do for this game. So you're going to see Splatoon 2 tactics come back in. I hope we see K-Pro come back. That way we can have everyone play Splattershot Pro again. No bias there. But you know what? We'll see what comes up here. Clam Blitz, Crab Leg. Those are plays that, by the way, that is a place where the missiles can do very well there, especially on the Grace, which has to be something that No Sticks players is coming in with in mind.
Yeah, I'm hoping that once again, kind of when you pick a counter, when you choose your map mode for a counter pick, chances are you have a really good scenario for where you're at and how you want to try to move forward in the game. But to me, it would seem that No Stick Players is still playing with an E-Leader. They do have E-Leader on their side, so this is a really phenomenal map to have something like that, the range and the openness of it all, because Disgusting Pickup Team is working with a lot less range. They have the Headit kind of trying to back them up here with Kawa, but they still do have that cooler to their advantage, and no cooler on the side of No Stick Players. And could that be the thorn in the side that's not working for them? Quite possibly, but we will only have a little bit of time to tell, as economy so far is booming for Disgusting Pickup Team.
Yes, invest in stocks right now, because otherwise who knows what will happen. That's why you invest in Disgusting Pickup Team. There's a triple from the paintbrush, no less, from the side of DPT. No Six Players having to back up, no choice but to back up here. And now the Reslider's coming back in. Another pick with that Reslider. What more can you do with your own team? We're finding out very soon. Your Scammy goes down as well. No clams to follow up with though, unless Stelter is able to pick up a few from the side there, and is able to do so. But we don't have any more follow-up from that. But my goodness, Sap, if you want to make a statement early on in the match, that's the way to do it. Make sure you know, hey, we know team play, and as soon as we get a triple off of that, we can do as much as we want with our team.
I imagine having the E-Leader taking 2 steps out of the spawn and then immediately have to jump 2 steps back. They had to super jump the 3 steps back that they took to get out of spawn because because the Dreadringer was just there and they were not leaving. Like, imagine having to push all the way back in the 2 steps that you took. It was before the E-Leader could even get started, they immediately had to go back to square one. So phenomenal opening from DPT. And Noxie looking to try to provide a jump here. The Reef Slider is going to come in. Scammy and Noxie are going to trade right in the middle there, but that leaves space for Tan to come in and attack Kawa, and barely escaping those shots coming from Kawa, and the football now being down on the ground there. Still, though, No Stick Players, they got to get it together here, Nito. There's not really any clams at hand for them to take, and Tan going around the right-hand side maybe was not the correct way to do that. And now, but still, Disgusting Pickup Team being pushed into the wipeout scenario. Maybe now we can see No Stick Players try to make a follow-up.
Yeah, and so when it comes to counter picks, usually the team has a plan in mind. The problem with those places, I'm not currently seeing it. It's the Disgusting Pickup Team has been able to cover. It might be that Disgusting Pickup Team has been able to cover things so well. By the way, No Six Players get 2 power climbs in. Now a lead change now for No Six Players, and you have 3 players ready for these decavitators to respawn back in, jump in with a power clan. So maybe everything gets thrown out the window when you start playing a game like this, and that's why I was talking about these plans. There's another plan that goes wrong for you because that decap just goes down as soon as it lands. So what I'm saying here is plans get thrown out the window. A famous Mike Tyson once said everyone has a plan until you get decapitated in the face.
And you know what? I've heard that before because Mike Tyson's favorite game canonically is actually Splatoon. And I have read that online. That is not misinformation. But it looks to me, Disgusting Pickup Team is trying to make a follow-up. But finally, Nito, I love to see that No Stick Players is hitting back harder with at least a 20-point lead and a little bit of change for a penalty here. Disgusting Pickup Team has been trying to put clams together, but it's been successful. However, they can't even hold on to them for very long because No Stick Players are here to stay. Once again, Scammy grounding that football, having 2 of them right next to each other, Nito. That is going to be a great, I guess, distractionary and or kind of the carrot dangling in front of the horse's mouth of a Disgusting Pickup Team here, because No Stick Players is still holding it down and bubbled near the basket point. Unfortunately, no football to follow it up there, but No Stick Players just has to ride this out for another minute.
I like what No Six Players is doing here. Now you have Scammy. Now you're backing up Scammy, rather. Scammy does so well with Brush alone that you're saying, all right, now we're going to have the decaf run with this Zipcaster. We're going to have the Frozen Pro run up with this with the Brush as well. Scammy is not going to do anything alone. And that's what you want to do with Scammy, because Scammy is so dangerous with an Octobrush. How much damage you can do, how much you can sneak up on you. That is what I want to see from those 6 players. Disgusting pickup team has no response to that, because usually it's the brush by itself. Oh well, we have range, who cares? But now, see, this is what I'm talking about. Scammy just goes up in front of you. There's nothing there to follow up with. Is anyone on this head hit? It's going to be Scammy. Is anyone on this Dreadringer? It might actually still be Scammy. It is, and they go down. But this Dreadringer's alone, it goes down to a bomb.
It's when you think, when the first line of defense, aka Scammy, fails, don't worry, the second line, a bomb, is there to try to follow it up. Now pushing us into the overtime scenario, Disgusting Pickup Team does have a ball on their side, but it has now been dropped. They can't hold on to that, Nito. It's Butterfingers for Disgusting Pickup Team, because Scammy is there to defend the Power Clam as much as they can. That's 2 different picks that they've taken to try to keep it defended, and they're going to take Kawa down in the final seconds. No Stick Players is keeping us alive here, Nito.
Oh, okay. So now I see it. I see the vision, no 6 players. If it's not like, if it's not the map that works out for you, oh well. Let's start finding out what we can do with Scammy, because Scammy is going to be the one player we send into the trenches. We can't send Scammy into the trenches alone. Let's bring up the Frozen Bro. Let's bring up the Decapitator. That is what I want to see, and that's why it's been working out much better for them. Now it's Disgusting Pickup Team's counter pick. Remember, you already won Splat Zone Zumal, you won Tower Control Ship. You can't really go for those anymore, so let's go and see what they come up with here.
Yeah, and I believe, too, that Scammy, in terms of different competitive positions that they've been in, I believe they've been on 2 different competitive teams. They also have done different things with Under Pressure and have won awards from Under Pressure, finding themselves now onto no stick players. Speaking of, though, their stick is at a +5, according to Sendo.Inc.
Horrifying.
So yeah, horrifying. So to me, that's actually quite a lot of stick, if you ask me. So I appreciate what Scammy has been trying to do for no stick players, and I think you're absolutely right, Nito. It's kind of a, how do we play around Scammy? How do we kind of support Scammy in all of this? Because I feel like it's been building and building, and finally we're seeing no stick players hit back really hard on that 3rd round, putting Disgusting Pickup Team now into the counter-picking scenario. But because they have won on Splat Zones and Tower Control, that only leaves them with Clam Blitz and Rainmaker. So that's kind of a tough spot to be in, I feel, for a counter-pick, for your first counter-pick.
Right, because you're going up and against, so mentally, as a competitive player, you're going into these next 2 games. You went to game 3 saying, all right, we just need to win 1 more. And it's that I find that it's always that 1 more mindset that always gets me like, all right, we lost 1. Now it's like, oh, goodness, okay, well, let's think about game 4 now. And you have to just keep it 1 game at a time. Remember that anytime you come up with these 2-0 situations and then your team all of a sudden has a counter, the team you're going up against has a counter pick, just know that it's never guaranteed. That game 3 is never guaranteed. You can win it, you can lose it. It's never guaranteed either way. Disgusting Pickup Team still has a match point here. And so whatever they're going to come up with in this next match actually now works in their favor. So those are 2 things you have to consider. Know that, like, it's not really set in stone whether or not you win this game 4, but you now have more on your side that you can work with. We're going to head towards Rainmaker Humpback.
Okay, so that's I guess something I would expect to come out for that. So I also, for the folks sitting back at home, Disgusting Pickup Team also has the players makeup of Delicious Steak Dinner, which actually I believe is an EU team. So that's really exciting. I always find it really exciting to have the cross-pollination between American, EU, and the Japanese scene when we do have the Japanese scene come in. But I appreciate that the EU scene always tries to come in and hang out in our tournaments very, very commonly and frequently. So that always just puts a smile on my face. I love seeing the crossing of the seas to try to come play in low ink. So welcome, Disgusting Pickup Team, once again. Also frequent alpha bracket players. We were kind of talking about that earlier. They've placed an alpha bracket multiple times across different low inks, and had also placed in Gamma Bracket in the latest Super Jump, or yeah, the most recent Super Jump 6 was the most recent one, right? Super Jump, they placed in Gamma Bracket in Super Jump 5, which I think was the one before last time. also a pretty distinguishable result to have. So I am enjoying seeing this counter pick, and honestly, I think in terms of Clan Blitz and Rainmaker, this is probably the best counter pick scenario that Disgusting Pickup Team could have come up with.
Oh, absolutely. Because now you have with Disgusting Pickup Team, the problem is that you're still trying. What was working out in the beginning two games is that you had players that were winning these fights that were going on all around the map. You kind of want more space for it because that leaves those 2v1s that no 6 players are setting up more open to attacks from either side. So I think what you want to do here is try to isolate and take as many off angles as you can, especially considering the comp you have with you. So this is what Disgusting Pickup Team wants. They want to keep that advantage, to keep that off angle advantage to them, not leave themselves in a closed up map like the previous two. But we're gonna see how this manifests as we see the game 1 start. We see Umbrella start to come out, and more of the same from no sticks players allowed. Stick players, they're allowed, maybe.
I think I feel that they have been granted access after the triumphant win in that last game. So with the opening statements being made at the center stage here, you can see that no stick players are kind of biding their time. Look at Scammy just waiting like so patiently with sharking tactics here. And they're going to come in from the backside and take 2 members out and narrowly escape being taken down themselves. Rainmaker is now free to be taken, but there's still so much popping power coming from Disgusting Pickup Team. But Scammy is still going to keep coming around the backside, going down in the trade. That's 2 members going down once again on Disgusting Pickup Team. They're playing... I don't know if scrappy's the right word, Nito, but they are playing to win a little bit more, like, I guess, in a more violent fashion. They're kind of just going for it more rather than, like, waiting a little bit. And they're trying to play a little bit faster, but I'm not sure if it's really being held together very well. It feels like very Scotch tape-esque versus, like, Gorilla Glue.
Well, maybe sometimes Scotch tape is what it takes. I know that playing with Creamcorn, playing especially coaching with the one and only Magic 8 Ball, you do start to find out that the best solution to certain problems is to just hold forward. Disgusting Pickup Team is using that mindset, and they're executing well on it. As to whether or not it's working, I mean, you finally got Scammy on an off angle there, and now you have one of the main weapons for most of these players down. This is what you want to see a little bit more of heading into this matchup, but at the same time, everything's so not coordinated. Everything's all just like happening on one side of the map or the other. They lose 3 players, no 6 players gets a few more picks in, and now they've got the checkpoint.
Yeah, popping checkpoint is going to be really huge here, and also trying to hold down the corner, but that's Tan going down, popping bubble too, but reaching their end in the bubble, unfortunately, so that's going to be Disgusting Pickup Team turning it around and going for the checkpoint of their own here. A little bit of a struggle there to try to paint the Dreadringer's feet to get them to safe passage, but finally getting the checkpoint of their own. Just 1 more point to get lead, and a very quick point to be taken at that, but Rainmaker's going to fall at the 48 mark, so that is no stick players looking actually to come in flank in from the backside there. No escaping unless you are quick to jump out from Disgusting Pickup Team. So no stick players is looking to try to turn it around.
And turning it around, they absolutely can. Disgusting Pickup Team has now gotten themselves past the checkpoint, something that no sticks players has yet to do. And you still have people going in at each and every side of the map here, and you're losing players. So now these adventures are starting to become far more effective than they previously were. Look at the strikes that are coming away from the middle of the map here. Now we have the 13 remaining. Disgusting Pickup Team working so well here, making this look very disgusting for no 6 players. I mean, my goodness. Once you throw everything on the wall and hope it sticks, some of it has to stick at some point. And now it's these E-leader shots that are currently sticking and working out very well for them. But they did pick out the Rainmaker, and they do get the wipeout as well, so it's still fairly good here. And you also get the Rainmaker out of the way. And now it's some breathing room here for no sticks.
Yeah, definitely have some time to kind of reform and recreate the structure that we want to try to run here. So many of the points are just in this back corner. You can see the Reef Slider coming in, almost jumping off of the front side there, but barely keeping on down at the 33 mark. It is going to only be Scammy that is left alive. They're going to hold on to that Zipcaster in their pocket while the other players of No Sticks respawn back in to the map now, and here comes Scammy, but is quickly taken out. That is going to be huge for Disgusting Pickup Team, because now Disgusting Pickup Team has all the breathing room in the world and the points to match it as we enter the last minute of the game.
Your mindset at some point as a competitive player has to include the fact that most of the 1v1s you're going to take in this game are going to be off angle. Disgusting Pickup Team is showing you why that's working out well for him, because you get all these fights where No Sticks players are just completely caught off guard. Then you get these huge triple 3-down, 4-down situations. That's working out very well for them. No Sticks players, though, still trying to find their way towards that path. They do at least have some stuff to work with, the bubbler, and now you have not much to work with. Sorry, there's a 2 down on either side. So, No Stakes players still finding it very difficult to get past Disgusting Pickup Team, who are throwing everything at the wall, and most of it's actually sticking pretty well. Is it? Yes, it is.
Yeah, it seemed to me that the discernment of trying to take the fight with the Rainmaker versus trying to achieve safe passage by staying in the bubble was really hard to try to figure out in those couple seconds there. The Rainmaker's now going to be dropped down into the trench down below. Still a very decent amount of points here, and no escaping the bomb in the trenches. That is an ideal position if you are in the lead for the Rainmaker to be, because at that point you just have to start throwing bombs and it'll ricochet off the shield. So Disgusting Pickup Team taking us 3-1. They're going to be moving on to winners finals.
Well then, that was a little anticlimactic, but was it really? I mean, this is a game that went with 2 huge pushes, and the phrase "it could have gone other way" is a little cliche, I understand, but this is one of those games where even when Disgusting Pickup Team felt like they had all the keys to success here and they were executing them on them very well, No Sticks players started to get themselves back into control in the latter half of the matchup, and I like that. I very much like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was really starting to see some momentum coming from No Stick players from that crab leg game. So I was hoping, I mean, obviously maybe Disgusting Pickup Team went with Rainmaker because they were like, we just got stomped in Clambits. We don't want to do that again, so we have to try to pick the other game mode. This is the first time today that we've seen all 4 game modes show up here, which is kind of fun. And I feel like a lot of times with counter picking, you don't really get to see all 4 game modes like this, but the story ended up this way with having Disgusting Pickup Team pushed into the counter pick spot by round 3, so they really were limited in their options and what they could actually pick. But they are going to be moving on into the winners bracket. Like we said, No Stick players is going to be knocked out, or knocked down rather, and Disgusting Pickup Team is going to have a rematch against Fun PB. Fun PB 3-0'd them in the Swiss stage, and so finding themselves toe-to-toe in Alpha Bracket again, this is the rematch that Disgusting Pickup Team has probably been waiting for against Fun PB.
Kittens, look, you guys come into Low Ink, having gone up to 4th place in the previous Low Ink. Not Kittens, Disgusting Pickup Team, sorry. I'm now talking about the winners bracket semifinals as though it's happening right now. In reality, Fun PB beat Kittens 3-0. It's not even close. But Disgusting Pickup Team, let's talk about you instead. No Sticks players, you just beat them 3-1. Things are looking very good for you. Well, here's Fun PB, a team that hasn't lost. And when I say hasn't lost, I mean they haven't lost. This is a completely different level of competition compared to No Sticks players. So if you want a team or a match in which you make a statement, this is it. This is the best opportunity to do so.
Nito, also, I want to take a moment and look at losers bracket round 3 that's happening. Magic Beans and Inkling are also having a rematch from the first round earlier today. I know they also are getting a rematch in the loser side of things, so Magic Beans was able to take them 2-0, and maybe they'll be able to do that again. However, it seems like Inkling has learned a thing or two, because they 2-0'd their way into losers bracket round 3. Or almost 2-0'd their way, I guess, rather, into losers round 3. So that is actually pretty cool to get another shot to try to beat who knocked you out in the first place. And so Kittens now being knocked down into the losers round 4, into the quarterfinals. No Stick players all on the other side of things. So Kittens is looking to try to face off with Luminescence or Los Tepesos. whom they have not yet seen in this bracket because they've been on the other side of it. So they're looking to try to see if they can take competition with different folks. Kittens, though, getting knocked down by the number 2 seed is pretty exciting. Not for Kittens necessarily, but for Fun PB, able to beat the first seed and kind of take them out of the running just for a little bit longer. So Fun PB and Disgusting Pickup are coming up next into the finals round. Who is going to be knocked out? And also, I know that Fun PB is feeling fired up, trying to take another fight with Disgusting Pickup Team because they were able to 3-0 in the Swiss stage, like I said earlier. So big rematch here, Nito. I'm rubbing my hands together like I'm a fly that just landed. This is going to be exciting.
I mean, this is our light, right? And we're both Moss Sua light. I mean, this Disgusting Pickup Team, it kind of goes without saying that they're the underdogs here. They are the David, Fun PB, obviously the Goliath here. I mean, I don't know. I like it. Disgusting Pickup Team came up to this last set with a playstyle, a weapon comp that I haven't seen much of before. Fun PB used a Clash Blaster the last time I saw them on stream. So first of all, bold move there using the Noob Cannon, but if the Noob Cannon's working out for you, so I'm not going to really judge you on that. But it's whatever happens, whatever weapon comps, whatever playstyles we see coming out of both of these teams, just know that it's all going to start on Splat Zones, ship shape once again.
And also, Noob Cannon, as you so lovingly put it, did come out on ship-shape cargo tower control. So is that going to be the same for Splat Zones? I mean, there is some paint that gets thrown down, for sure. However, now that our objective is not a moving objective, it's a stationary objective that we have to keep covered. I'm wondering if maybe Clash Blaster is going to be selected once again. And no, it is not. We are going to stick with Bucket. And hey, you know what? I will take that, Nito.
Fair enough. I mean, Bucket works well here. I mean, the Disgusting Pickup Team showed that very well last set, and I'm surprised they didn't keep the. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't get the Slosher out here from Delta as well. But you know what? Delta's not actually here, so that makes sense. What you do have instead is going to be a Umbrella. You have a head hit there, and you have Fun PB going all the way in. Look at where Momo is on the side, on the top of your screen there with Gumshoe as well. We're gonna have to force this one trade. We're gonna go all the way back here. It does have a power. Does have the reslider. Sorry, ready and able to go. So we do have at least one special coming up here. Found Fun PB now finding himself struggling to keep hold of his zone. Disgusting Pickup Team gets back.
Yeah, I want to say too, it is very refreshing to actually see no shot or pro or any traditional shooter in sight, Nito. We are completely of different weapon classes here that don't involve any sort of traditional shooter, which I find to be really fun. That's Tensui surviving the vacuum shot in the very corner. Once again, Brella is proving to be the shield of all shields. 3 members of Fun PB going down. An incredible opening from Disgusting Pickup Team and just holding out strong, no penalty in sight. Nito, this is kind of the moment that they've been waiting for, and hopefully, in their case, the momentum is going to stay here as Tensui coming out with an incredible shot. Make it 2! That's 3 members down on Fun PB once again. However, the Reef Slider is the one that made it through.
You throw haymakers, so can we. Disgusting Pickup Team. This is now a different team that I saw last set. They are coming into this knowing full well what they're up against. Fun PB, the perfect team. Now they're on the back foot here. How often have they been on the back foot? I don't know. I didn't really watch we didn't get to see their run on day 1. But now we're seeing that they're on the back foot here. And my goodness, Icebreaker, can we see a third? Oh, we absolutely do, but it's going to be somebody else, so it's actually a 2 for there. But Fun PB now, not on the back foot. They have control of the zone. They don't have the lead. Disgusting Pickup Team was able to retake the zone very cleanly the last time. Can they do it here?
I would give it Icebreaker. I'd give them 2.5, okay? Because that definitely at the bare minimum had to be an assist of some sort, right?
Sure.
So we'll give them credit. We'll give you credit for the half there, Icebreaker. You can have it. But Disgusting Pickup Team able to break back through. It's kind of hard to see how that was able to happen, but they did manage to pull through. The Reef Slider is also online as another take back tool, but unfortunately Deadringer is going to go down from Anoga up at the top there. Momonga. Momanga. Yeah, okay. I was like, hold on, let me get my monocle out here and kind of magnify, enhance on that one to try to get the name right there. But there is 4 members of Fun PB kind of dancing around into this court area here and doing what they do best, which is collapsing in on the enemy and surrounding them very quickly, like flies to the swarm. Moxie, though, is going to go ahead and take 2. They're looking in for the third 2.5 once again. Shout out to the 2.5. And Gumshoe is going to have to get out of there as quickly as possible. Fun PB is on the regroup.
2.5, the second, the third most popular number, just right behind 6 and 7 currently at the time of me saying this. But Disgusting Pickup Team still swapping between control of the zone with Fun PB. Notice that this is not necessarily the same as what we saw when they're set in their previous set just a few minutes ago, but they're still swapping things around left and right. I mean, it's like we're seeing some of what we saw in the previous set, but now it's going to be the zone instead of fights going on towards either side of the map here. Fun PB is never really in control. They are in control, but they're never really fully under control, I think, I'm noticing in the set.
Yeah, it seems like Fun PB is kind of gets it together for a moment, but then there's immediately a 1 to 2 down scenario where it gets toppled, but enough paint gets on the ground there for Disgusting Pickup Team to take back control. But there still is a 1-point difference and some penalty in the way that is going to prevent them from victory here. But maybe Nito having 3 members go down and actually a delayed wipeout, that's the paintbrush going down last. This could be the moment to try to open it up while additionally taking the folks that are down that keep trying to spawn back in. Fun PB is looking to try to has to take the lead here once again, finally taking zone to control, but it's not going to be enough, Nito. Disgusting Pickup Team is still here to stay.
Oh my goodness. Disgusting Pickup Team. You're certainly serving up something delicious here, so your name makes no sense at all. But what makes sense is how well you've been doing in this set. There's already 2 players going down. There's another one going down. Noxie with the Moxie. Can we hold on to the zone at least? No Reef Slider for you. Icebreaker gets shut down. The ice stays cold and frozen solid as Disgusting Pickup Team picks up their first win and Fun PB's first loss of the entire weekend.
First loss of the entire weekend, and it's on the rematch of a team that you 3-0'd in the Swiss stage. Like I said, Nito, Disgusting Pickup Team is picking up so much momentum, and regardless of what the Yelp review says of Disgust, this Pickup Team is cooking up something pretty hot here. Now Fun PB, for the first time, being put in the counter-picking scenario, so no Splat Zones and Ship Shapes still on the table, but for Disgusting Pickup Team, we cannot pick those any further if we move into the counter pick ourselves. But this is probably a very momentous, monumentous moment for Disgusting Pickup Team to have Fun PB sitting in the counter pick.
Did you know that Julius Caesar and other Roman emperors believed that pickles could help build muscle, which has to be what Disgusting Pickup Team ate in the very short break between the previous set they played and now, because first of all, let's state the obvious, you beat the team that was previously unbeatable. And secondly, it's not necessarily that you're completely wiping them, but no other team has been able to withstand the challenge that Fun PB has brought to them. But what you did there is make the previously unbeatable team look like they're finally met their match here. All of these games are so close to one another, so I like that we're seeing that from this match. Obviously, Fun PB now has a counter pick in their favor. We're gonna see how that comes up later on.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what's going on in the voice chat of Fun PB, kind of what the discussion is happening, because I mean, that's got to be a really big blow, right? You almost had the perfect game coming out for Fun PB. You almost had the perfect score, the perfect low ink run for as far as they went, and they were only a few matches away from making their way and punching a ticket into grand finals. So Disgusting Pickup Team disrupting that's gotta be a little challenging to try to swallow, and especially when you had such a good run earlier in the tournament. And I could just be speaking in general, but Nito, we're gonna run it back on Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track, and I think that, I don't know, maybe Fun PB was unaware how Disgusting Pickup Team was able to kind of throw it down on this last time. I'm wondering, I don't know if they know, but Disgusting Pickup Team had so much momentum from this last game that this could be good. I think this could be good.
Right, because this is the map that Disgusting Pickup Team counterpicked, like you said, to beat no 6 players. So, okay, now I gotta talk about why they won on Rainmaker Humpback now, because Disgusting Pickup Team was able to do. I think they made very good use of the off angles available on this map.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I gotta wonder what the reason for Fun PB picking this map mode has to be, because obviously with every counter pick there has to be something, and the reason you're picking it out. So I wonder what they're gonna pick out from here. I want to see what they pick out mainly in their weapon comps, because like I said, the success that was brought on by Rainmaker Humpback or Disgusting Pickup Team and Rainmaker Humpback was because of their playstyle. So what do you do with the weapon comp? And if so, are you making this pick because you know what Disgusting Pickup Team is going to come out? And what adjustments do you make out of it? Or is it just because you know this is what works for you?
I see your analysis there. And I raise you the question of, in many, many years of us pickling, it's incredible that after thousands of years that we still perform the practice today, and how actually wonderful fermented and pickled foods are for your gut. So many different, they kind of act in the same way like probiotics do. And especially one thing I'm thinking of is like kimchi, for example, which kimchi is also like the name of the actual dish with all the cabbage and the spices, but also it's the method for which that you ferment. It's a name of the method in which you ferment. So to me, it seems like maybe Fun PB had a big heaping spoonful of kimchi because that was a quick checkpoint pop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, does Disgusting Pickup Team stop this? I would hope so, but nah. I mean, we gotta also talk about. Never mind, don't talk about the comp. It's just a. Whoa, wait a minute here, Disgusting Pickup Team trying to run away with this one. No, says Icebreaker. I'm gonna break your runaway there, but. Oh my goodness, Fun PB just going straight out of the gates here. That's gonna be a bomb pick that finally shuts down Icebreaker, but. Fun PB, I mean, that is one heck of a way to start things off for your team. Gumshoe just barely able to escape out of there, but Disgusting Pickup Team completely, I want to say completely taken off guard there, but at the same time, that was complete pushback from the side of Fun PB.
Yeah, I think Icebreaker deserved that as a follow-up. They deserved that after what happened in the last round and saved themselves of the honor of taking down 3 members. 3 members of Disgusting Pickup Team. That completely turned it around there, and you can see now Disgusting Pickup Team is finding themselves kind of on the back foot here. They have to try to get organized, but Meat Boy is going to make that really challenging. But still 3 members of Fun PB down in kind of a really tough team fight, and still though Fun PB is holding strong, Nito. Even with them going down one by one, it's like you said, sometimes the best defense is gonna just be holding forward and see what can happen for you. But Disgusting Pickup Team is still holding their ground, and Tensui almost making it out of harm's way, but unfortunately it goes down to that stamp throw.
Ooh, and there's a wipeout, so you at least get control of the zone. You also get jumps here, another valuable resource here. Disgusting Pickup Team, though, they don't have the ability to take any off angles here, which is what you would have seen, but of course you had people respawning, so not much you could have done with this. Much you can do is push, see if they are able to make something out of this. 2-1 player going down on either side here, but nothing solid coming out of this just yet, except for an Ink Crush, and except for a Wave Breaker. Can they get the lead? No, they do not. Just barely stopped before they were able to do anything there by Fun PB. Disgusting Pickup Team still making their way back up. They might be able to grab the lead here, except Gunshoe has this. Wait a minute, no, hold on. Fun PB picked it up and dropped it down. Oh my goodness, I nearly missed that had it not been for the words on top of the screen there.
I was really hopeful there for Tensui because they had so much paint coverage kind of towing the line on the little walkway there. So, but the wipeout now occurring on Disgusting Pickup Team, just kind of finding themselves between a rock and a hard place. That's Icebreaker picking up the Rainmaker here. All the teammates are going to jump in. They're opting for the far right side, which allows a little bit of breathing room, I feel, for the folks at Fun PB. They're already trying to push forward and meet Icebreaker over on the side there, but still Disgusting Pickup Team is going to find their footing first and take 2 different members down and are already collapsing in on the zone. Plenty of paint being thrown down here, and now with the shield being popped once again, the strikes are going to come out too. But Nito, someone is going to break through to the other side there. That's the paintbrush, and they're Momonga is going to take it down into the trench again. So, I mean, Disgusting Pickup Team had a really good spot there to try to start with, but it seems to me Fun PB is just going to sneak on through.
This is what I want to see for Disgusting Pickup Team. Your strengths are in the off angle, and you're showing it very well here. You've got the lead. This is where your strengths lie. Your strengths lie on the right side, which is supposedly the weaker side to push in from. But no, you've got more picks here. You got Tensui here, who's able to hold down more than I thought they'd be able to hold down with that Umbrella. And now you've got the lead as well with a minute to go. Now you've put Fun PB in the back foot yet again. This is what I want to see. You guys are playing to their strengths, and you guys are playing to them very well.
Tensui for me has been MVP of this particular match because consistently I have seen them not only protect themselves, but they completely blocked so much else that's coming at them. But wow, Fun PB, Nito, that was free! That whole pathway from start to finish, that was a free run for Fun PB. There was nobody from Disgusting Pickup Team in sight there. I mean, what happened?
That's the nervous laughter of I wish I could tell you in words that are understandable to the human ear, but I can't. And so Fun PV just says, all right, well, the answer is right there. Nobody from Disgusting Pickup Team is preventing me from accessing the answer, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of that. And they did a little bit of that, and they won. So I don't know. It all happened so quickly for me to just like, since I looked away for a small second, now it's like, all right, well, Fun PB just takes that away from you. To be fair, this entire game was back and forth. It was very close, and it almost seemed like cliche sentence incoming. Either team could win, and either team did win, Fun PB in fact, but it's no surprise that it's almost anticlimactic, but it's no surprise that it could have been one as easy as that because of how volatile these point totals were.
I'm telling you right now that Disgusting Pickup Team is in the counter picking scenario, Fun PB had a really good closeout of that match. However, if that didn't topple right there, I feel Disgusting Pickup Team would have held that together. But I feel like Fun PB is really quick to assess where they can cause the most damage. And like you said, the fact that the knowledge was right there and it was not behind a paywall, they were kind of like, all right, we can actually just pull forward here and we'll just take it all the way down to the end. And so Tower Fish on Hagglefish Market, tower control for us going into the third round here. Disgusting Pickup Team is taking us here next. We have our reusable bags. If you have EBT out there, EBT also works at farmers markets. Just for those of you out there, a little fun tip for you. So I think that, like, in regards of who's going to find the best deal here, once again, I've said this earlier about Fun PB. You really do have to keep all the cards. You can't put any down on the table because Fun PB will exploit the weakness if they see one. So Disgusting Pickup Team really has to they have to play the offensive defense, if you will. They have to play both pieces at the same time and very, very, very strongly in order to kind of find success against Fun PB, because Fun PB is so quick to exploit. They are so quick to collapse in and find where the holes are. And so I feel that Disgusting Pickup Team, I mean, they have all hands on deck and they have to pay really close attention to this, Nito.
So one thing I didn't mention in the previous set is that Icebreaker is a member of Daybreak, a CCA team, and Icebreaker, really Daybreak in general, loves humpbacks, so that's why they got that as a counter pick. which is why I want to talk about their discussing pickup teams counter pick real quick. I understand this pick, and you're starting to understand it too, chat, because there is a wipeout for you. But I understand this because this is very straightforward. Almost literally, you have a map that worked out as roughly as like Ship Shape did, which is why you're gonna bring out similar comps. That double Slaughter comp coming out yet again, and you see that Restarter come out, nothing there yet. But Tensui has also been really useful with this Umbrella here, so you want to keep Tensui as useful as possible without allowing FunPB to access these off angles. FunPB have cleared out the members of the discussing pickup team, but the latter have the lead for now.
Yeah, I like that Noxie was kind of just hanging out in the base there for a little while, and you could see that Icebreaker just completely shifted their attention towards tower and moving it forward, which was the correct assessment of events to do, because Noxie eventually got followed up by 2 different members of FunPB. So it's a really incredible ability to kind of risk assess in the moment like that, and they chose to just move the objective forward, which is exactly what you want to keep doing, especially because Disgusting Pickup Team is really good at creating a strong opening. That's Tensui and Moxie helping each other out on the side here. That's Momonga also going down. 3 members of FunPB are now down, and the second checkpoint has been, first checkpoint has been eliminated. We're sailing our way onto the second one, but unfortunately the Dreadringer could not make it up there with the Reef Slider, so Meat Boy is here to try and fight it out, and Momonga is going to try to follow it up. It's a very quick battle to take away from the second checkpoint here, and finally FunPB is moving that tower away.
Oh, and that could have been a dangerous Reef Slider that had it gone straight under the tent, because that tent had 2 players on it. It had Gumshoe, and it had one more that I'm starting to blank out, and maybe Meat Boy, but that would have been a crucial 2 picks for your team to have, so not having that is going to be it's going to slow y'all down a lot. And that means you also don't have that other Reef Slider that came off the Disgusting Pickup Team that's now dead as well. Tensui trying to get something happening with this Umbrella, but not able to get anything through because Meat Boy is coming in with the Luna Blaster and almost got another take there. But Disgusting Pickup Team, though, they're surprisingly holding this fort down very well, especially against a team that in their previous set seemed like they could just go in and somehow find a lead. FunPB not being able to do so in this match.
Yeah, and I appreciate that Disgusting Pickup Team is doing everything they can to push forward, and Tensui is the one leading the charge here, finding one, taking Meat Boy out of the process, though that Luna Blaster is going to be gone, but still, 3 members of Disgusting Pickup Team go down. It's just Tensui left standing. It seems like they need to have another, at least 2 people kind of defending the tower as much as possible. And you have Gumshoe launching that tent and also holding the tower down. It's back into the center stage now, but there's a lot of pain to be had coming from Disgusting Pickup Team here. And the back is actually providing a lot of help with that to let the Reef Slider come on through. That's 3 people of Disgusting Pickup Team going down. Another phenomenal stack of specials from FunPB.
All right, I want to see what this Dreadringer does, because you have Reef Slider. You're so tempted in using this, especially considering the angle you're at here, but you don't have time to do it. Meat Boy comes in. Meat Boy's the only one left, though. So now Disgusting Pickup Team knows that they still have these off angles, but the problem is with FunPB, they're catching those off angles fairly quickly here. I mean, they picked up on it. And when you pick up on it, all of a sudden the tried and tested game style that you've been going for doesn't work. Well, I mean, maybe it wasn't going to work in the first place, because right now, all this game has been is just a bloodbath. Both of these teams swapping picks left and right, back and forth. 1 minute to go. Doesn't seem like it's going to end, but Disgusting Pickup Team currently has the tower.
And I just have to hold on to it, Nito, as we enter the last 50 seconds. But how can you do that if 2 of your members make it 3 go down? It seems like whenever we reach this elbow, Nito, the offensive Disgusting Pickup Team completely topples. We just cannot seem to hold it down on that second checkpoint because FunPB's positioning on the defense has been really tough to break. But in addition to that, I feel FunPB has also been really struggling to hold down this elbow because we've only made it to the 50-point mark. This will be the first time in a while that they've been able to get close, and finally getting some more points on the board here with 3 members going down. This is ideal win conditions here for FunPB, and that's the lead being taken in the final 15 seconds of the game. So Disgusting PB has a lot of time and ground that they have to make up for if they want to try to turn it around here. But how are you supposed to do that when you have 3 members down?
I don't think you can. Meat Boy and Icebreaker, they're the hold down the tower, and there was no response that Disgusting Pickup Team could have had for that. But it's so good that you mentioned that elbow, because that elbow is so it's so difficult to get out of. I mean, Hagglefish Tower is notorious for having that checkpoint in which if you're playing against a team that knows how to lock down, knows how to play checkpoint by checkpoint, it's over. It's going to be very difficult for you to do anything there. But what happens there is that Tower Hagglefish works up Fun PB, and Disgusting Pickup Team, for what it's worth, tried their best to make sure they can make that outside whatever. We'll just go around and see what happens there. Off angle thing worked, but obviously when you have a team like Fun BB who's able to shut down these checkpoints very well, work from checkpoint to checkpoint, keep it step by step, not much for you to do there.
I am just enamored with that the effort that Disgusting Pickup Team has put in these last two games. They get such a good lead, and it just slips right through their fingers in the final seconds. And it's very similar. It's very similar, like I said, to how fermentation works. You want to play the long game. You have to let it sit for a long time. And Fun PB has been doing just that. They play the long game. They play until the final seconds of the game, and then that's where they strike. They strike back even harder than they have for the entire game. It's like they've been playing at like 65 to 70%, but then as soon as those final seconds come into play and we're kind of entering the last minute of the game, that's when we turn the notch up all the way to almost 100% and throw everything in the kitchen sink that we have at them, eventually leading us to the victory. So where it's like Disgusting Pickup Team has barely any time to try to make it up and gain ground back. So Fun PB now in the winner's seat and looking to try to close out this battle. But still, Nito, Disgusting Pickup Team is the one that stopped their perfect record. They have disrupted the perfect record, and I think that in itself deserves a win.
And the reason this set has been so fun to watch for me is that none of these games have been outwardly outward wipeouts. None of them have been shutouts. Fun PB and Disgusting Pickup Team I'm convinced they're so closely matched here that we could see this match once again down the road. But right now, we're still focusing on this one. Disgusting Pickup Team has the counter pick yet again. I want to see what to do with this because now all of a sudden you've discovered that Fun PB is holding things down on when it comes to modes like Tower Control or Rainmaker, they can hold down their own objective pretty well. So now you gotta figure out, like, okay, do we still want to try playing these off angles? Because if we do, we need to find another approach to it. Tower Control and Hagglefish Market was a good start, but then you have Fun PB and the way they've used their specials to completely overwhelm you. It doesn't really matter that you have those off angles, but there's the one I've been waiting for. We are back to the common.
Took them long enough. Jeez.
Bring it back. Tower Control Inkblot.
Yeah, gather round, come in the room. Tower Control Inkblot Art Academy finally in the winners finals stage. Finally, we have old reliable. I know, thank goodness. It's finally some normalcy. That we get to have here on the Loving stream for Alpha Bracket D2. The Inkblot Art Academy on Tower Control. I think Fun PB is going to see a similar story here as we had in their last Tower Control match. It seems to me that both of these teams really struggle with different elbow positions and trying to maintain, because either the defense or offense is too strong to even maintain positioning here. And boy howdy, do we have a lot of elbowing that happens here at Inkblot Art Academy. So very, very similar map structure, if you will, with where checkpoints are placed.
All right, chat. The word of the match is going to be bats. Whoever wins bats first, and whoever is more aggressive in getting into bat is going to be the team that wins. Because I think what the previous matches have shown me is that both of these teams are willing to be outwardly aggressive. I mean, we saw what Fun PP did in last match. We saw what Disgusting Pickup Team did in Rainmaker Humpback. Whichever team gets that big push at the beginning, off the top, may win, and I want to say that they'd have a good chance of winning. I mean, like I've said before, these matches have gone so far in one direction or the other that I can't really tell you, and I don't, because I do see how all of them play out, and I don't want to spoil it for myself. But Disgusting Pickup Team and Fun PB, their goal is to get the bats first. See if you can hold it. I don't know that you can. Both of these teams are incredibly volatile, so who knows? But we'll see what both of these teams come up with. I think that's going to be the name of the game, though.
Additionally, too, I really think that we need to make more use of what Noxie is bringing to the table, because in this last game on Hagglefish Market, Noxie was able to infiltrate into that top elbow for quite some time, and there were two different players that just were distracted by what Noxie was doing. They had to completely turn their attention away from the objective for a little bit, which ideally was not what they wanted to do. So I think with Inkblot having a really similar map structure, we need to be taking more advantage of what Noxie can do for Disgusting Pickup Team, because they have the powers to infiltrate into tighter spaces, especially with using that carbon roller. I think last time they were using the regular spot roller with Bubble. So I think with having that kind of gumption and power to do so, this could be a really good spot for them to keep exercising that skill.
Gumption. That's a good word. That's a word I don't hear very often, but I do want to hear more of it. And you need to hear more about how America, the United States, got its name from a pickle merchant from Italy.
Aha!
So the nickname for America was actually made by a guy named Amerigo Vespucci. And now the name that both of these teams are going to make is going to be built from this matchup. It's currently Pun PB on match point. Disgusting Pickup Team out looking to stop the 3-1 gentleman's sweep. Let's go and see what happens.
And once again, no traditional shooter weapons in sight, Nito, which is so refreshing to see. It's refreshing for the eyeballs. Meat Boy put the sploosh to rest for just a little while longer here. Disgusting Pickup Team is going to be the first to jump onto the tower and make it to checkpoint number 1. There's nobody from Fun PB in sight here. Oh, and I say that, and then finally some blue ink kind of flying over the side. But you can tell that that they've been now called out by the Dreadringer. So Momonga is still being distracted and not going in for the tower like they were hoping to. So second checkpoint is almost going to be taken by Disgusting Pickup Team, and there's still plenty of it in the arsenal to try to hold the tower in their possession here. Nobody can catch this Dreadringer, Nito.
Yeah, I'm surprised this Dreadringer hasn't gone down yet, because look at it, Zip just kind of hovering around. Notice 3 players down on Disgusting Pickup Team. It's still there. That Dreadringer's still there. And oh my goodness, thankfully Icebreaker able to take it out and still get some picks there. That was a trade. Surprisingly, Disgusting Pickup Team is so good at slowing teams down like this. Even when it looks like it should be a complete wipeout. Even when it looks like it shouldn't be a trade at all. It's a trade. It's still a pick. I mean, Disgusting Pickup Team is slowing down Fun PB little by little, that it all adds up, and Fun PB has to start from the beginning here and see what they can do with this, but it seems like they're going to have to be doing that over and over.
Yeah, and unfortunate timing there from Momoga. You could tell that they were just trying to go and get things started and start the fight closer to home for Disgusting PB, but Kawa was there to respond pretty quickly. Look at Carlos trying to bring in the tent here, but not finding any advantage. That's 2 members down for Fun PB, and that once again having to start in from the spawning area. A really good bomb, though, coming out from Icebreaker to stop the tower momentum. Tensui is going to have to try to be the one to follow up. A good 2v1 fight happening there. The Tri-Strikes are going to come out and clear the left-hand side, which is inevitably where tower is going to go, but not if Meat Boy has anything to say about it. But Nito, it seems before anybody can really get heated up or fired up in a fight here, they get immediately taken down.
That's what I like about both of these teams, is that they're all that's happening. And that's what's made this match incredibly exciting from start to finish, and it's not stopping here, which is good. This is good. This is good for viewership. This is good for me, the caster, and this is good for Disgusting Pickup Team because they get 3 players down. Meat Boy still holding on to things, but Kawa able to shut that down with the headache. And my goodness, Disgusting Pickup Team still finding ways to keep Fun PB on the back foot here. How much more can they find? Not much with Icebreaker failing to get something out of that reach slider, but this is what I'm talking about. All of these picks going on in the middle there. Fun PB able to come out of it on top, but for how long? You now have somebody on bats. How much are you able to do with this? A lot, it seems, because you got the Slosher down. You get Tensui down. You're doing a lot for the pickup team. Fun PB, another one down. Oh my goodness, is that the lead for you? I think it's the lead for you. It certainly is the lead for you.
See, I feel that the real commentator's curse of it all is a game like this, where plays are happening so fast that you and I can just not even keep up with what's going on. Even like your brain and your eyes, everything is happening faster than what we're able to process.
Oh.
And as I say this too, the wipeout for Disgusting Pickup Team has now occurred. It is almost going to be curtains for Disgusting Pickup Team if Fun PB keeps it up, which they can because they keep on gaining specials and getting them online faster than the folks of Disgusting Pickup Team can get out of the spawn. And the tri-strikes are a moment too late. That is Fun PB once again closing it out against Disgusting Pickup Team. However, the perfect score has been thwarted by Disgusting Pickup Team in the long run, but still, Fun PB will be moving on into the grand final set.
And a point I was going to bring up earlier is that Disgusting Pickup Team was the first to bats at about 20 seconds in, but Fun PB was more. I feel like there was more substance to when this Fun PB got up to bats because there was just so much they had up there. So it's like they had two people. You had the paintbrush as well, which is good for area denial. And then all of a sudden you have a wipeout, and then it just kind of seems like the rest of it's a blur all the way up until they get to the last checkpoint. Disgusting Pickup Team doing everything they have at the tower, but ultimately no dice for you. Fun PB is going to be heading off towards the grand final. Disgusting Pickup Team going down toward the losers bracket. Where they will try to redeem themselves in losers bracket finals, but that match will be coming later on. Fun PB though, their first grand finalist of the weekend.
Yeah, and Nito, just looking ahead to in the losers side of things, Kittens has moved ahead from losers round 4, and in the semifinals, they're waiting for Inkling to come through, which, Nito, in the losers round 3, Inkling was successful over Magic Beans. Look at that. Another redemption match happening down in the loser side of things, and Inkling is able to win it over Magic Beans, where they got knocked out initially by Magic Beans. So getting to shake hands in the loser side of things and move forward is a huge a big upset for Magic Beans, I think, with Inkling. Inkling now going against No Stick Players, even though No Stick Players is showing a lot of success here with having one win under their belt and only need one more to close it out. Kittens waiting in the semifinals area, and then Disgusting Pickup Team is going to be waiting for the winner of the semifinals. So Disgusting Pickup Team could punch their way back into the grand final set, potentially, which would be crazy to see a third match between Disgusting Pickup Team and Fun PB potentially. That would be really fun. But Nito, in terms of the end, the beginning of the end here, it's curtains for us, and we have to invite Sasu and Popka next as your next round of commentators.
Oh goodness, one of our best commentators in Sasu and a current podcast host as far as I know, and someone whose fantasy football team lost to mine. Nobody tell Popgun, he knows as well as I do, but I'm proud to flaunt it, so we'll just let him marinate in that as the next comp block comes up. But if you want to find me anywhere as we wrap things up, I'm going to be at Nito and Used at bluesky.social, Twitch on the rare occasion that I do stream at the same handle, and I think lunch is great. Lunch with pickles. How does that sound, Seth?
Oh, it sounds good to me. Don't even think of finding me. I do not want to be found, but if you must, I have Blue Sky. I have Twitter. You can take a peek there. You can find me in the woods looking for mushrooms. You can find me out on the ocean looking at salmon and looking for mushrooms also, and looking at salmon, looking at fish, looking at seals. You can find me in any sort of marine environment ever, brining in the salt water. We appreciate you guys so much. Don't go anywhere. Alpha Bracket Day 2 on Low Ink 2025 October edition is going to be coming up next, and Sasu and Popcorn are going to close it out for you. So don't go anywhere. Maybe take a break, get some water. We'll see you back in a little bit.
friends, and welcome back to Low Ink October 2025. I am Popgun, joined by the Sasu, or as we say down in the South where I'm originally from, Sasu. And we got a great set for you guys today, I'm assuming. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Here on the eastern side, at the very least, in New York, it is 3 o'clock, midday. Got a good walking of my dog in, so I'm honestly ready to go to look at these last games in Low Ink. But how are you doing, Popgun?
I don't know. Thank you for asking, though. Nobody ever asks.
Right? They always ask, who is Pop? But how is Popgun? Important
Who
question. Who is Popgun?
The real question
anyone's actually asking that.
You should be asking is, who is No Stick Player's frowny face? Well, I got a little bit of a hint. They don't have a stick player on their team, which they did last month, I believe, when they finished in the top 4, if not top 3, with a stick player. But they probably said, you know what, we actually want to win this month, so everyone's got to use motion, which is a wild thing on their part. And it's kind of cringe, but you know, that's where they are. What's that logo? Who is that holding a gun to a fish? Who is that? Do you see that?
I do. I have to wonder if, I'm assuming it's like some sort of stock image that they've edited a fish into. At least I hope. Maybe, I don't even know. I feel like, but it's camp and I'll take it.
Meanwhile, the kittens have a logo ripped fresh off of DeviantArt with some sort of wolf humanoid creature screaming. The more I think about trying to put logic to any of this, the more I realize that's kind of the wrong way to go about this. Kittens are an actual team. They've been playing pretty consistently in Low Ink. They, I think the only team to beat them today is the team that's waiting to end grand finals. I did watch that stream. It was a close 0-3, by the way, that the Kittens had to that one. But right now they got to deal with no stick players. A good question I probably should have looked up before this. Did these two teams play each other last? Oh, they might have, actually. They were in the same group. Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah, I would be curious to know, because honestly, I feel like the stakes are just so much higher when a team is trying to get their lick back, because now they have the experience, they know what they're up against, and I feel like it's really rare to see an opposite result come out of it, but it's always exciting when you do end up seeing like a team just say, hey, like, you may have killed us before, but we're ready. We're ready for you this time.
This is a rematch. The Kittens lost 0-3. Got swept out. Lost the 2 games, and then the third just for fun to no stick players. But now they're going to be going up in a match that matters with loser semifinals. This is a best of 3, by the way. There's the Fire Fin coming out from Grubhub, and Scammy using the Kraken Octobrush on the side of no stick players.
Yeah, absolutely. Really exciting to see weapons like that. I always especially like seeing the loadouts in Low Ink. I think some players kind of getting away with some extra stuff that you don't usually see, especially that ZF. Having those strikes going to be super important. Scammy, unfortunately, falling a little bit short, but definitely going for the picks here, forcing everyone onto that flank. But unfortunately, I think Kitten still has their hold here, trying to get rid of that wall, and they do it. So right now, Kittens, I think, with a really strong opening with how they've been inking here.
It's just the question of, can they find ways to start pushing up and creating a lockout? And the answer to that is no. No, it turns out the other team has this thing called an E-Leader that doesn't exist anymore, because Firefin obviously better than E-Leader up to this point. This game is able to push up and create that lockout that the Kittens weren't able to establish right there. So nicely done there by no stick players, able to push up, keep the enemy team away from the zone. That's going to give them a lead here.
Absolutely. Not just that, but I think that they're playing very patiently. You see Bowie here just kind of staying in that zone, making sure that they don't overextend. So even though they've gone down, No Stick Players still has the zone. I think their leader also not overextending, just trying to check anyone from Kittens that is able to drop down there. And right now, we're at a bit of a stalemate. Hagglefish can be super difficult to get into mid, but it seems as though Kittens has somehow figured out how to do it with the Zuka and the rest of their specials. So finally, they pry the zone out of No Stick Players' hands, and they're going for the hold here, Papa.
By the way, is that the mini that everyone said was the most broken weapon of all time? And then Japan didn't use it, and they were like, oh, well, how did anybody think this was ever good? Of course this mini isn't good. Well, here it is in low ink. It still paints really well. It still gives you Zuka, and if you find beacons in the right spot, it can be very effective as well. The problem is nobody ever plays mini, so nobody's actually good at it. But I have the feeling that if you put actual time to that thing, it can be a solid weapon. It's not going to be enough to hold on to lead right now for the Kittens as No Stick Players start to push up. But it is going to crank out a lot of Zukas, and that's going to be what the Kittens are going to have to roll with right here to try to get back in the zone.
No, absolutely. And you see that also the ZF sending out those strikes. And I think that strikes plus Azuka can be super useful for the retake. Obviously, not necessarily doing much for them right now. We are down to 15 points remaining, and I think Kittens is mostly just kind of stuck in their spawn right now that they're going to have to dive if they're hoping to get to the zone. And I think, what was that, a reef slider? That couldn't have been. Somehow they're able to cap over. It was?
It had to have been. What else could it? I mean, there's nothing else that breaks the zone for seemingly no reason other than a reef slider on the back end of things. But hey, it's enough to at least keep them in it. How much longer is yet to be determined, because Scammy's getting another Kraken used a little bit too early. Nothing really there for them to chase out with that Kraken, so now they're not going to have one ready to go, and this is going to be a great opportunity for the Kittens to start pushing up here. Control that street area. Tan equals SAC squared. I'm going to have to Google that later because the geometry was a long time ago. Is this a situation where the Kittens can get back into this one, create a lockout? That's the question I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, we will see, because it seems as though Kittens, obviously on those Dapples, they have the reef slider so that they can deny the win, essentially, from No Sticks players whenever they have it in their back pocket, but their holds have just not been there. You see, even though they're able to get their hands on this zone here, they're struggling a lot up against these whales. Just everything is coming at them, and it seems like they're struggling with their 1v1, so their holds a little bit weak, and ultimately if you can't hold for long enough, you're just not gonna get the win. Scammy once again with the Kraken, not gonna get any points, though not gonna be checked for that overextension there. A bit of a whip, and once again with the reef slider, Kittens takes the zone, but we'll see for how long.
So the problem with this is you're stuck in a back and forth tug of war situation, which isn't going to work out into the Kittens' favor now because they have essentially no time. We're in overtime right here, so they can't just keep re-slidering their way back into this. They have to get the KO or the lead right here on this push. That means they got to survive the missiles that are coming out right now. They're going to have to hold on to the Kraken that's coming out really soon, get splats on top of it. There's one, but the wall keeps a player trapped, and there comes the Kraken right on top, getting a nice splat on a couple of players, but everybody else goes down from the side of No Six players. The Kittens are scratching and clawing their way back into this one. The specials not coordinated by No Stick players, coming out one at a time and couldn't really capitalize off of each other, and the Kittens make the most out of that mistake. They steal game one.
Oh, wow. Right from under their noses, putting No Stick players on the back foot in this best of 3 right off the top. That is putting them in a really precarious situation, because it seemed the entire time like No Sticks players just had it. Their holds were better. They were practically putting Kittens in knockout, but all it takes is one mistake. And honestly, splat zones can be a little bit like turf in that, because you have a nice hold at the end and the game is yours, I guess.
And that's the frustrating thing about going up against the reslider in zones is that they can just keep their team in the game long enough. I mean, we were even kind of confused, like, wait, how did they flip it there? It should have been the KO. And the answer is no. It was the reslider all along. So that creates this situation to where we can just hang around long enough. And no stick players, again, had all the right resources, just didn't realize they had time to work with. They didn't have to rush in with the missiles. They could have waited for the Kraken to be built up. And then with the missiles chasing everybody out of the zone, have the Kraken run in, take advantage of that chaos, and then just swarm into the zone, easily paint it. Not much you can do about that situation if you're the Kittens, but credit to the Kittens to at least putting the pressure onto no-stick players and making them feel a little bit sped up in a moment where they didn't have to. Because they're playing in Low Ink, the most prestigious tournament on planet Earth, so I can understand the pressure there.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I think that no sticks players unfortunately biffed it a little bit at the end there by overheating and panicking, but they can't afford to do that here on tower control ship shape because once a team gets going, they get going. It's very hard to stop them, especially when they get to that second or third checkpoint. I think that there are other tower situations in which you can still kind of stop what's going on at that third checkpoint. I'm not so sure that ship shape is one of those. Once they get really deep in there, it's a little bit of GG's, so they can't afford to panic. They're going to have to lock down and shut down anything they see coming for them quick here.
This is the counter pick coming out from no stick players, which has been a popular counter pick I've seen so far in Alpha Bracket for whatever reason. Maybe it's just because nobody wants to pick Rainmaker because they'll get labeled as cringe, so let's pick the closest thing to Rainmaker, which is tower control at the shipyard. Here we see basically the same comp coming back out, except there's no more Zuka on the side of the Kittens. They're opting to go with the Bubbler Mini. And still keeping the Soto with that Inzap as well.
Yeah, it makes lots of sense. You're going to want to bubble that tower, obviously. And interestingly enough, they also have a Reef Slider. At least they did before that Reef Slider went down, that being the Dapples on Team Kitten. So very quickly, I think no sticks players getting on to that tower, trying to eke it forward a little bit and get that first checkpoint, while Scammy, of course, farms for that Kraken. But that Kraken is going to be a little bit difficult to make use of, but Scammy apparently just not needing it in that moment because, of course, he's got the grates. It makes it a little difficult, but I guess not for Scammy because this Kraken gets no use, but did they really need it? They're already down to 50 here.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what a great patience being shown by Scammy to not use the Kraken so they can get a couple of splats. And then ultimately using it as like, well, you already splatted everybody with the weapon, so what's the point? By the way, the Kittens realize the game has started here. They're about to get knocked out in about a minute and 13 seconds. Oops. Good counter pick by no stick players. The Kittens don't show up. We're going to a game 3.
Yeah, asleep at the wheel a little bit there. I was not joking when I said you have to stop whatever's going on immediately because you let a team get going and go they will. And that's exactly what we saw. That was just a 100-0 push. Not really much. I feel like I didn't even see a special out of Kittens there. They just kind of got I don't want to evoke the image of Kittens being run over, but that is kind of
Too late. Too late. The idiots in chat are having that poor image in their head, and that's what they're going to be stuck there forever. Unfortunate. I've been trying to figure out what tan equals SAC squared is the formula too, and I'm not getting much answers.
Tangent equals, I think it's tangent and secant, right?
Yes.
Is what those are short for, but listen, there is something in for everybody. Let me educate you in that. In New York, there's something called the regions, which are mandatory tests, and you must take one for pre-calc and trigonometry. And famously, I never passed my trig regions, but they let me graduate anyways. So I'm like, listen, Tangent, Secant, I got that. What is it? Well, Sokotoa? Is that... It's right?
I think that's a name of a Girl Scout cookie that you just said there. I could be wrong.
I think you're right, actually. And speaking of wrong, Rainmaker on Crab Leg is what the counter pick is.
Wait, really?
And I think so.
Wait, how do you
it's
know?
On
what am I missing?
Where
did I not say that?
My brain's just big. My third eye
Oh,
opened.
There we go.
And I saw that it is Rainmaker on Crab Leg. And as an edit player, I have nothing but smoke for this map. So, hence why you might be like, whoa, where's the stray coming from? That's where it's coming from. The fact that I get chipped out by pencil, it's personal. But hopefully it's not personal for either of these teams.
I do have some bad news. I want to shout out our streamer Sam, who is streaming the third straight low ink for us. They said they did not pass pre-cal or did not take one for pre-calculus. So I'm assuming that they're just as clueless to math things you won't use outside of the classroom as we are. So we're kind of stuck with that.
You know, as a fellow New Yorker, actually, I think there is no regions for pre-calc. That's my bad. There is one for trig, and I think there's one for calculus. There's not one for pre-calc. But I failed. I failed the trig one, and I never passed it. And I thought they would say, well, you can't graduate unless you pass your trigonometry regents. But I mean, who gonna check me now? I graduated and I went to college, so
Yeah.
sorry.
And look where you are
Maybe
now.
they ding me now. They might say, wait, you never passed. Come back. Too late.
Now the question is tangent equals sequence squared, who is playing for no stick players, going to pass loser semifinals in this decisive game 3? This is the counter pick by the Kittens. It's going to be Rainmaker at Crab Leg. We're going back to the mini Zuka, and that is the Crab Tank's Charger. I'm gonna have to check to see if that's tournament legal. We don't see that used too often. It's still gonna have to be going up against a Scoped E leader, which might be the only thing left alive by the time that the Kittens grab the Rainmaker.
Yeah, the Kittens are putting down a lot of pain and putting down a lot of hurting because so many members, I think 3 of no stick players went down, but the most important member of Kittens, the Rainmaker holder, does go down there. And you're talking about, let's check if this is tournament legal, because quite frankly, when that Charger came out, I thought it would be seeing more use. I think having Crab on a backline is super advantageous, especially on a place like Crab Leg. Being able to pop that crab and still have all that range is going to be super useful. But you see no sticks player breaking through that checkpoint like nothing. 3 of their members go down, so that's going to be the end of their push. But not a bad way to start off the game 1 minute in.
So that Crab Tank Charger that we're seeing here. By the way, DJ loves whenever Crab Tank is on screen. He gets very excited about that. As we're going to see it used right there. Yeah, you can find ways to get Crab up onto the catwalk areas. The Kittens are going to be able to get in a good position to take advantage of that weapon. The problem is that it's kind of stuck down here. Grubhub is asking for help, as the Kittens just can't find ways to get set up into the right positions that they want to be. Even though they've been getting a pretty decent amount of splats, there goes our math friend, as does Scammy. So this should be the checkpoint falling. We're essentially tied right now. Kittens in a good situation, as players were about to push up before the missiles chase them off the map. They'll get lead, but lead's not going to do much for you here. You want to go and get all the way across the grates. Oh, a little bit of a movement there. I think they juked that player out. Did you see if they just fell off for nothing?
Yeah.
Oh, they broke their ankles.
Exactly. I was just about to say, like, they just broken their ankles in that moment there, carrying this heavy Rainmaker walking back and forth on the grates. It's interesting about Crab Leg Rainmaker because that final push to the final goal simultaneously feels terrible to defend and push against. I don't know what it is. It's bad feels all around. But in the meantime, no sticks players trying to kind of try their hand themselves on this grate. Not gonna happen. They get shut down by the crab on top left, and just I was gonna say just one member, no members. That's a wipe out there for Kittens, and now ball's in their court once again as they're gonna try and see what they can do on this top right trades once again.
So this is a stressful game for both teams. Obviously, you lose, you're eliminated. It's Rainmaker. Nobody has a lead until the timer's out. The no-stick players push that they had right there needed to be a little bit more patient. You don't need your Rainmaker leading the charge right into a crab like there. Back up, let your teammates get set up into positions, then start pushing up. But it's so hard to be mentally disciplined in a situation like that to where you can say, okay, let's calm down. Let's take advantage of the time that we got. A minute 20 is a lot of time that we can work with right here. But when you don't have lead, it can be very stressful. It can force you into playing and making plays that you shouldn't be making. Here comes a zip caster they can work with.
Yeah,
And
you know, and
there's a wrist slider.
as we've seen, just getting its work done that we expect out of it. But you were talking about, half of it is mental. We already saw no sticks players essentially lose a game that everyone expects that they would have won because they simply panicked. They were out of position and they allowed themselves to go down when they should not have. But you have that wipe happening on Kittens. They are in a position where they should be able to get work done, but they have their whale canceled. I think some good patience happening here on this top right as they wait for their teammate to go back in here. But in the meantime, I'm sure Kittens is trying to farm their specials, and quite frankly, if they're able to get that, no Zuka, never mind. It's just the crab trying desperately to get down that Rainmaker, and they do it. But, oof, a lot of casualties.
They're in a great situation to get the lead right now, though. Oh, just 1 point. Just a handful of points short, and I don't think they got enough resources. That might be it. Yeah.
Yep.
Unless they somehow get a splat on top of that, the Kittens weather the storm. Everything was going right for the stick players. So I got to go back and see who got the splat right there, because everything was falling for the pink team. The crab eliminated the straight path right ahead of them, but just a few points shy of getting the victory as the Kittens hold on and they win the set.
What a close set, and I think they have snatched those victories out of the jaws of defeat for both of the games that they won in this set. We saw them just clutch up, take advantage of no sticks players, not necessarily, being, I don't want to say at their best, but just not focused on what it was they needed to do, fudging a little bit at the end there. And I think that once again, no sticks players was in a fantastic position to take that last game and just fumbled it a little bit at the end there. But that's how it goes sometimes in alpha bracket of Lowing.
And just some great plays by the Kittens as well, back and forth. One thing we do know, if you play no stick players next year or next month, hopefully they're not eligible for Lowing next year. Maybe they won't be eligible next month. Who knows? Don't play them on tower control ship shape. It doesn't go well. that was the... You take that game out of the equation. This was a very close set for both teams. But ultimately landing into the Kittens' favor. By the way, I think it was June or May of this year, we started doing the Artist of the Month program with Lowing, where we get a different artist every month, or try to get a different artist every month, and highlight them. And the winner of the tournament gets team art made for them by the Artist of the Month. This month's Artist of the Month is Grubhub on Kittens, which leads to the awkwardness of three more sets they would have to win, and they'll be drawing fan art for their own team.
I wonder if that leads to, I mean, obviously not, but I might just be in that finals. Like, it's hard when it's your friends that you owe art, and so you might be getting pings and help desk like, can I get some help? We haven't gotten our art from the artist yet. can you force it? And maybe you're like, listen, I don't want to draw, just to deny my teammates the art. We are throwing grand finals. Like, perhaps, maybe that's the play, I don't know. I might say, listen, I want other people to get my art. We're just gonna have to win next month, and I'm throwing. figure it out.
What if the Kittens make it to grand finals? They lose in heartbreaking fashion, and the captain of the team that just beats them DMs Grubhub and be like, "Oh, by the way,
Here's the references."
Yeah. can you when can we expect the turnaround on this? That'd be really cool to see. That's the but you know what? Grubhub, Kittens, they might just win this straight out. And we can avoid that kind of situation. First off, they'll have to go up against Disgusting Pickup Team, which is the Delicious Steak Dinner Team, who changes the food that they are naming their team after every single time they play in a tournament. Which made me question, are they just a pickup or an actual team that doesn't care about their branding? So, in spite of me, they've changed their team name this month to Disgusting Pickup Team. And I refuse to call them that, because that is disgusting. Instead, I have come up, with the help of others, a list of different dinners and maybe some breakfasts and maybe some like desserts or questionable snacks or appetizers that I will be referring to them as over the course of this set. So keep up in chat if you, because we're not going to be calling them Disgusting Pickup Team. That's not fair to them.
I mean,
Or me.
I gotta say, I have to admonish a little bit here. Disgusting Pickup Team, the lack of devotion to the bit is disappointing. It's disappointing to me. So you might go back to the VOD and say, wow, they should be calling us Disgusting Pickup Team. That is not our name. But you know what? I think that Popgun may be doing you a favor here by forcing you to devote yourself to the bit and course correcting you back to what you're usually called. But we're going to be heading straight into this game here on Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi Resort, taking a look at these loadouts. No surprise, we're seeing a Reef Slider on both of these sides, but what is a surprise, at least to me, is that Sorella.
I don't even know what the kit. Oh, it's the Inkjet variant on that. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, you don't see a lot of Brella in general online, and you don't see a lot of Kitten players alive in the middle of the map right now because Delicious Cobb Salad is doing a fantastic job of getting control of the zone early. Keep in mind, they've had a little bit of a break here. They just came off of a winners finals loss to the Fun PB, but right now Nox is sliding them up with the roller and going right into the enemy base, getting destroyed by Grubhub, who gets sent back from that reslider. That's going to be a very aggressive Dread Ringer you're going to be seeing coming out of Delicious Shrimp Cocktail.
Yeah, absolutely. Already down to 30, half of the team of Kittens down, while I believe Tonkatsu Ramen able to take back this zone, making their way down into the waves right now, and just making work of Kittens. This has been a really oppressive run, and despite this Leaf Slider coming out, not able to cap that zone. So if these seconds tick down, and they do, that is a 100-0 run for Team Pad Thai.
Okay, so I gotta keep up with my list. I can't. You used Pad Thai, so I'll cross that off. I did have Pad Thai down here, but for Team Delicious Pad Thai, yikes! I mean, we're talking about the Sorella Brella. We had that cute little moment there where they just kind of held up their Brella in the corner, and somebody else came in and took the fight for them. So there you go. The ultimate. One of the terms that has caused like a lot of confusion to people in the community for a long time is the word skirmisher. And it's like, oh, we need to have a skirmisher on our team. And it's like, no, even FLC was like, no, this is just like a term I'm using. Doesn't mean you have to do stuff like this. But as far as like a weapon that draws attention and like kind of soaks up fights, Brella, Tenta, or Sorella or otherwise can do just that. And that's exactly what happened right there. You're going to be forced into a 1v1 with me while somebody else comes in and takes a 1v0, gets the fight into our favor. And then I can just turn around and use the Inkjet to clean up the rest of it. But yeah, everything's looking really solid there for the 5-piece combo 5-piece chicken combo with a biscuit on the side team right here. So they did an excellent job in that one. And now the Rainmaker crab leg counter pick is coming out immediately by the Kittens. Hey, we just barely won on this against the team we just beat that I already forgot who that was. Let's see if we can run it back here.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully it'll be just as close because I think seeing both of those teams just really eke out those points on those grades is at least exciting for me. I'm like, better you than me. I always think whenever I'm seeing a crab leg, because like I said, pushing feels terrible, defending feels terrible, but it's not terrible to watch. So definitely keep that up. And, you know, since it is the counter pick, maybe, who is it? Kittens, their counter pick. Good, because I didn't have a dinner name ready. Perhaps, like, this is what won them that last set. So maybe it's just fresh on the mind. They have their technique ready to go. And that's why they're like, we're running it back. Anything but tower ship shape.
And they're picking this because they want to go back to using the crab charger and try to get crab going up on the grates. And then we also saw them use crabs in a lot of good defensive situations along the grates as well. That's one of the reasons why they were able to get the win in the previous set that they just played. And of course, since the crab is on the anchor weapon, it's going to be in those spots to where the crab is like, you don't have to go out of your way to find a spot to pop your crab. On the defensive side of things, you're already naturally there by shooting your charger. So the question is, can the Kittens find a way to get a lead early so that they can find ways to just kind of bleed out the clock with Grubhub in the right defensive positions and the right specials that they want to use? Paintbrush in the Zipcaster Slosher coming out here from Delicious English Breakfast. So a huge comp change up here. No more Reslide or Dread Ringer for them this time around.
Yeah, very interesting weapons indeed, especially because that's going to be the V Paintbrush, of course, the one with Wavebreaker rather than the one with missiles. So we'll see how that ends up working out for them. Right now, Noxie just going down after a bit of just running around there aimlessly. And I think both of these teams just trying to get the picks and the paint down that they can, but very swiftly. Two members of Kittens going down. I think that they're trying to kind of pre-paint that section despite the fact that they essentially lost mid, and it's just looking like a scramble in mid. Chicken Marsala has two specials at the ready, and I think they're gonna be able to push with, I thought they would be able to push with that Deb, but seems like no dice.
Yeah, Delicious Fried Calamari right here only has the Zipcaster bucket ready to go, and that is Line Marker as well, another sub that you would forget is in the video game until you just see a line go across and be like, oh yeah, there are some weapons that have that sub on top of it. Many doing a great job of eliminating the Zipcaster. Splatlings in general just kind of do a good job of dealing with that special. So if you can find ways to be effective with the minis, you're going to be in a good situation right here. But still, nobody's able to really do anything on the scoreboard just yet. It's been a defensive struggle with 2 minutes about going by. Here comes Board AF, who is doing a good job of clearing out the way. Can they get the Rainmaker on top here and get it there before any defense gets set up?
Yeah, I think two members going down on both sides. Interestingly enough, I think that we've seen so much use and value out of that inkjet, and I would argue most people, myself included, I would just say that this is a weak inkjet map. You have those crates and you just kind of sit on them when you try and push ever, but with three members down there by Kittens, delicious rice and peas and chicken. Yeah, a little Caribbean here. Gonna go down before we can even finish that. Yeah,
I wasn't.
You're like,
I wasn't
a Caribbean dish. Nope, it's because of what we saw on screen.
I wasn't questioning your food choice. I was more so stunned by the fact that in a 1v3, the Mini was able to splat the Rainmaker and prevent them from getting the checkpoint, which they still haven't done right here. This should have been a cleared checkpoint a little while ago by Delicious Fried Calamari. Instead, they're stuck here trying to find ways to climb this tower surely they're going to get it right here. Yes, they do, but they still have the dodge to the mini on top of that as well. By the way, a lot of time's been bled off the clock. 3 minutes are already gone. We just now cleared the first checkpoint, and the kittens are they going to get this cleared out? I think this is going to reset because this mini is just literally camping on top of it. But, oh, you grab it and slip past all of it. Calculating the rev rhythm there, the mini just sat right on top of it, and that's a huge chunk of points added to their lead. They get wiped out on top of it, though.
Absolutely, but I think obviously it worked out for them, but what did they have to lose? At worst, they go down, they get set back to spawn, but right now, it just kind of feels like they're at a stalemate, so it was super important for them to eke out those points, especially considering that delicious steak dinner has yet rather they have gotten their check, and they've denied Kitten getting their first check as well. So right now, we have just under 1 minute there, 3 members down from Kittens, which means we're going to get a nasty run to that final check. They might even be able to dunk it, and they
Oh my
do!
goodness.
Despite the wipeout notification at the end, Kittens is not fast enough, leading us to a 2-0.
And there was one player left alive. They had a reslider ready to go, and I think they just completely lost track or was out of position. It was just like, well, let me just use this reslider to see if I can get some splats. But at that point, it was over. Everybody focused in the wrong spot, and the Kittens just lose track of the Rainmaker in a heads-up play by Delicious Tuna Casserole to able to grab the Rainmaker and slip past everybody. And even as the wipeout is landing in, they can't find a way to get the splat on top of it there. Yikes. Things looking really good right now for Delicious Shushimi.
A delicious sashimi. I love to hear it. But once again, they're gonna get counterpicked. And I'm curious what Kittens has up their sleeves now. I feel almost as though they're getting a little bit of a taste of their own medicine, and that Kittens was able to snatch a lot of these games in that last set at the end. And I think that's what Delicious Veggie Burger, it's been a little bit of their MO that we've been seeing. So of course we're waiting on that counter pick to come out, but wait no more. We are going to be taking it to tower control ship shape. What is Kittens thinking? I gotta know.
What? Why? they barely lasted a minute 13 seconds the last time they played this map. They get destroyed. Why would you want to go here? I mean, it's a different team, I understand, but this is your we'll get them here. They won't be ready for this. They probably played this like 20 times over the course of this tournament. Everybody's counter-picking this map all of a sudden. It's the new Tower Control Art Academy, and interesting choice by the Kittens. We'll see how it works out here, Sasu.
I mean, I would sooner pick Tower Control Ink Blot Art Academy over a ship-shaped tower. Honestly, I'm not going on ship-shaped tower unless I'm absolutely forced to. And of note, it was no Styx players that counterpicked that last time, right? It wasn't even their counterpick. So
yes,
maybe it's just kind of goldfish memory where both of their counterpicks are what they played in the last set. So maybe they're just kind of like, that's just what we remember. We're not trying to look through the list of the things that we can pick. We're the first seeds. We got it. Pick whatever. We'll reverse sweep them.
It's the old saying of, okay, why pick something that benefits you even though it benefits your opponent at the same time? And I'm not sitting here thinking like I've been thinking up some sort of counter pick to deal with the Dread Ringer that's probably going to be coming back out here. The Brella, and, maybe they're thinking like, oh, the Brella's going to be an issue with Clam Blitz, and we've already lost on Splatoons and the Rainmaker, but we'll see how this goes. It's never know how these games are going to go. I mean, I do, but I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. I don't want to reveal the strip right here, but this is a potential tournament elimination game for the Kittens here. as Delicious Potato Soup has a great opportunity to punch their tickets to Grand Final.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, they are at step point. So Kittens, our first seed, has their backs up against the wall in this game with a very interesting pick. They lose this, that's just about it. We are in the losers bracket finals here, but 3 of the members already going down for Delicious Steak Dinner into a wipeout, beating Kittens. They are not kidding around already with a strong start here. Listen, you may be the dad, but I've got some of the dad jokes raring to go, Popgun.
Oh, both teams are going to look back at this one and watch the VOD and be like, oh, what are they talking about this whole time? But you know what? We're having fun. And so is Grubhub right now, sending Deltor back to the Shadow Realm as they approach the second checkpoint, the most important checkpoint, and the last one in the way right here. The Reef Slider collides onto the tower. 2 Kittens get smashed, and there's just the mini left to go. So they don't clear that second checkpoint. They get to 19 remaining, but it's tower control ship shape. Who cares? There's no such thing as a lead on this map. The good thing is that the second checkpoint has not fallen yet, but the Kittens still put up a lot of points on the board. There's plenty of time, though, for things to go haywire.
Yeah, I will bring attention to the fact that you said 2 Kittens get smashed. I think that is imagery for idiots in chat to run with. Very graphic there, Popgun.
Okay, they got splatted, all right? They're sent back to spawn in a peaceful way.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. I mean, they did explode.
Absolutely. And speaking of exploding, 2 Kittens exploded on Team Kittens there as the Reef Slider comes out and claims yet another one. Disgusting. Ooh, my mistake. Almost misnamed them a little bit there.
Okay.
Delicious rice and peas with their finally getting some points on the board, down to 75, making their way through this checkpoint here as they take the court area. And quite frankly, really strong having a jetpack here, putting a lot of pressure, especially on that top right. If they play their cards right, and they did not, they will not be getting the lead here.
I wish Inkjet was something that was more used in the meta. I mean, I understand why. It's not on a lot of great weapons, but Inkjet just seems like a special that's not brain dead and requires like an actual amount of skill to be really good at it and be really effective with it. The problem is that if you pop it in the wrong spot, somebody can just throw an Ink Stride at the right time, and as soon as you land, you get evaporated. But still, first checkpoint does fall for Delicious Pork Tenderloin Dinner, and they are taking the stab at the second one here. There's still 2 minutes left to go. Here comes another Inkjet being deployed from the tower. Who are they shooting at? I don't think anybody was there. They must have thought someone was sharking in that ink. And a little bit of a misuse of that special, and the Kittens take advantage of it.
They were shooting at their own demons, I think there, you know.
And missed.
Apparently, and you know, I think Inkjet meta just sounds impossible to me. I don't think it'll ever happen, unfortunately, but who knows? We'll see. But 2 falling victim to that Reef Slider means that I think in total, just about a delayed wipe happening here on Kittens and Delicious Poutine. Just really putting the paint down, trying to lock out Kittens so that they won't be able to put any sort of effects on that tower. And we have a segmented triple Ink Strike coming out there. 2 Reef Sliders just like passing ships in the night, going past each other. And I think we have Delicious Sticky Rice about to take this lead.
And that's a huge lead, too, because they cleared the checkpoint. So now the Kittens have a lot to clear. Even if they can find a way to get past this, here comes Grubhub trying to jump onto the tower. And Delicious Lamb Curry has just 3-0'd the Kittens. They are now going to grand finals with another rematch against Fun PB.
Oh, wow. I think, unfortunately, it was a major misstep for Kittens to pick a counter pick that they lost in last set. I think we were kind of questioning this choice, and granted, certainly not as bloody of a match as we saw the last time around, but you know, perhaps some better choices could have been happening here for this counter pick, and I think it didn't necessarily do them any favors here, Popka.
The goal that they had, the win condition.
I'd like to hear that. Yeah.
Somebody said the word win condition during Splat World Series, and now that's something everybody's talking about. Well, what's the win condition right here? And you'll hear commentators say, like, somebody's just like painting the zone. It's like, oh, they understand the win condition. Like, oh, really? That's it? Just like painting the zone. The win condition there for the Kittens was saving the resources and attacking at that second checkpoint when it got there. They burned everything to prevent the tower from getting to that second checkpoint, which didn't happen because all the specials were being used by delicious creme brulee at the same time as well. So that ultimately led to this awkward situation of the tower's at the second checkpoint and there's nothing you can do to stop it. So the snowball has gone a little bit too far down the hill in a quick 3-0. The disgusting pickup team will give you credit for that because you have found your way as a 4-2 team on Saturday, by the way, to bounce back from your loss to get a 3-0 win over the Kittens, and now you're going to be going up against the Juggernaut Fun PB in the Grand Finals, which is going to be coming up next. We got to come up with more dinner names. You guys got to take a bathroom break and get your popcorn ready because we are going to be giving you Grand Finals coming up next, right here on IPL.
Hello and welcome back to Low Ink October 2025 Grand Finals. We are looking at Fun PB versus Disgusting Pickup Team, who we will be calling other things during the entirety of this set. But I'm Sasu here with Popgun, and we're excited for this final game we're about to watch.
So I looked into my crystal ball that has never failed me before during the break.
I see.
And I saw a future where the idiots in chat were complaining that Fun PB was too overpowered in this tournament because they've only lost one game the entire weekend. And how could you let this team in? How could you ban Wavelength but still let some of these players play in this tournament, Popgun? And you know what I'm going to say to them, Sasu?
What are you going to say to them, Popgun?
No, I'm genuinely asking. I'm at a loss. I don't know what to say. I was hoping you could help me out here.
I think I can help you, and the answer is somebody else did it. It's somebody else's fault.
Yes!
And
there we go.
They should have figured it out, and you should attack that person and not Popgun.
Or you could look at it from this angle, that Disgusting Pickup Team beat them. They're the only team to give them a loss, and quite frankly should have won at least two of those other games. They had them dead to rights in Rainmaker at Humpback, which is the only counter pick Fun PB has made the entire weekend. And they had two huge leads on them in the two tower control games they played against them in that other set. So Disgusting Pickup Team, yes, you have to win 6 times against this team that's only been losing once this entire weekend, but they've had to put Fun PB in situations where they have to keep coming back from behind. Fun PB has never raced out to a lead against this team, although this will be the 8th game these teams have played against each other all weekend. Disgusting Pickup Team and Fun PB playing earlier on Saturday as well. Game 1 of Grand Finals. Fun PB, a pickup team, taking on Disgusting Pickup Team, which is also by definition a pickup team by their own admission.
Yeah, it's pickup team versus pickup team, but I suspect that Fun PB, sometimes when you just kind of let a load off, when you think of every tourney as a Fun PB, maybe that's why they're able to lock in so well. But already 2 members down, make that 3 on Delicious Lasagna. But not going to fare for them well here, because it means that Fun PB, of course, able to take a lot of that space and move up. And Popgun, I always say he who controls the stacks controls the game as it pertains to Mako Mart. And I think that Fun PB is doing a really great job of that, as well as making it very difficult for Delicious Fish and Chips to just drop from there. So I think we're about to see a camp there. They do go down. Very unfortunate to have to witness that.
Well, I did say that Fun PB had yet to race out to a commanding lead in any game they played against Delicious Steak Dinner up to this point, and they're doing exactly just that. Not only that, they're making them feel like they're not even supposed to be in the same lobby as them right now. My goodness, this is a butt whooping that is very quickly turning into a butt whooping deluxe, unless they can find a way to crash into the zone, which is exactly what they're doing, just trying to just make something happen to flip it back into their favor. Yikes! Fun PB has a date to get to tonight. They don't want to waste too much more time in this set. They're already up 1-0 in a very commanding Game 1 win.
Listen, clearly Fun PB has somewhere to be. I totally get it. They just went straight through that. And this PB not looking so fun here for Delicious Gnocchi. Now it's their turn to get that counter pick, to see what it is that they're going to be doing. And hopefully we're not seeing, some questionable choices. They're really hoping to think about what it is that they're strongest at, what Fun PB is going to struggle at, and pick accordingly, because I'm hoping not to see a question mark over my head when when they pick what it is that they're gonna pick.
And this is going to be the 9th game that Delicious Pork Tenderloin has played against Fun PB up to this point of the tournament. So they should have enough information to be like, okay, here's what we think here's what we think is the best possible map mode combo that can get us a win against this team. And you can also fall into that trap of like, well, we beat them on Splat Zone's ship shape, so let's just pick that again, which can be a little bit tricky because it's really hard to beat a team the same time on the same exact map and mode, especially when they're as good as this. And there might not be a perfect counter pick to go up against. Like Fun PB might just be locked in for the weekend and might just be able to beat anybody that plays in this tournament, as they've already done up to this point. But this is an absolute must-win right here. And to set the stage, because I see some people asking in chat, yes, this is a best-of-5. Fun PB is coming in on the winner's side. If Disgusting Pickup Team were to win this best-of-5 set, we'll play one more bracket reset. And they're going with, oh my gosh, they're going with Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track, which is literally the only counter pick that Fun PB has made the entire tournament. This is the only map mode that Fun PB has picked. And they're saying, yeah, well, we're going to pick it against you. Now, to be fair, they did have a huge lead against them in the previous time, and they just got wiped out and got KO'd in the last second. But, yeah, okay.
There's something in the water. In all fairness, I think that's probably what it is. They're like, listen, we fumbled at the end, but if we lock in this time, I think we can just close it out, is what it is. But I'm going to be extreme. There are a lot of map modes that you can pick. You don't have to pick this one, the one that you lost on, but they have. And they're going to be up against a sploosh this time around. So I'm assuming that they are going to be not thinking that they're going to get that pop. Or they do. Listen, I admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong. They get the pop, and they get the first run at the goal.
Why, though? Well, why are we grabbing the Rainmaker in that scenario? Nobody's been splatted. Why grab it and just go? That's the Fun PB taking advantage of that. A little bit of a miscue right there as the reslider comes in. Olay says Icebreaker, who is, by their own right as well, trying to hold forward into something that's not there. Both teams off to a bit of an awkward 30 seconds right now, and it's resulted in this stalemate as everyone is starting to just say, you know what, maybe we should just clean up mid first, then we'll start pushing the objective.
Yeah, a little bit of maybe desperation, question mark, with both of these teams just trying to run it immediately, but it is going to be a delicious grab team with the first dunk here on that attack. Now, of course, they're in elbow, and it is free. They're going to be able to run that and get points, but not before 3 of their members go down. It looked free, but it was just a mirage. Fun PB grabbing that, dropping it, and making a beeline for that elbow, but I think there's got to be a lot of smoke, and there's the spoken question. They do go down.
What?
Everyone's going down. Whoa.
What was that? The hammer just went away. Okay, maybe there's like a bomb behind them they didn't see or something, but I was wondering if Delicious Steak Dinner had something like they were able to do to kind of shut down that push, and I think Fun PB just didn't realize. Yeah, there's some players a little bit pushed up back in mid, but there's still players back home playing defense. So Delicious Steak Dinner able to hold on for at least now that first checkpoint. Well, I guess there's only one checkpoint here, but still 2 minutes have gone by. There goes the brush out of nowhere, getting a nice double on top of it. This is going to be a great situation right here to put some points up on the board.
Listen, as much as I was questioning the choice to have something that you lost on doing that counter pick, clearly it's working out for that because they ran it all the way to a double. What happened? There's literally nobody there. Everybody went down.
What was that?
I couldn't tell you.
No witchcraft going on here in the Halloween low ink. Did a tent just mow down 4 players? Okay. So we regroup right here. No, seriously, what the hell was that?
I don't know. I just saw the wipeout notice and I was like, okay, wipeout. And then I suppose a trade because then the other wipeout notification happened and just silence. Absolute silence. You could hear a pin drop because everyone was just down waiting to respawn. And now Delicious Gnocchi on it again, and they're just running it and running the timeout because, you know, and I was in the middle of saying I was knocking them for this pick, but clearly I shouldn't have because on some, they know what they're doing. It's me. I'm the problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, double wipeout, purely calculated on top of that as well. By the way, the tent couldn't have gotten all those splats because the tent was on the team that was up and running. Okay, we gotta replay that eventually at some point. But still, the Rainmaker resetting. Delicious Steak Dinner has not given up that first checkpoint yet. Here comes a huge hammer getting a couple of splats on top of this. And now it's just the Inkjet back home. Trash that the Inkjet's been eliminated. So now you got the Slosher with the Ink Strikes trying to just hold on to control things. Is able to get a splat onto the Rainmaker. Here comes Meat Boy grabbing a hold of it. Should have some swim speed to work with. But here comes the bombs yet again. And the great defenses come out. But there goes two more players yet again. Oh, that's almost another wipeout. Fun PB is schmoving right now. And there it goes.
Yeah, not almost into that wipeout, and they have a lot of reassurance to be able to get there. Of course, that tent shield, but ultimately, Delicious he does go down, and it is just back and forth here. I think they are able to grab it, and they drop it down to put it out of that danger field. But wow, what a nail biter there. A lot was happening.
Feels like the whole tournament's on the line right now in this one individual game. Somehow the Rainmaker is cleared in a safe spot, but Fun PB's in a great situation. And all it takes is one more wipeout. And they're getting a ton of splats right now, but there's a great position by the Slosher to able to get the splat. That might put a cap on this somehow, and I literally mean somehow, because I don't know what happened at all this entire game. Disgusting pickup team gotta win.
Yeah, and as you can see there, by 2 points, they were just barely also able to stop Fun PB, I think, from essentially doing the same thing again. Last time they were up against them, Fun PB, I think, snagged it right from under their nose at the end there. But Delicious Potato Curry locking in and saying, listen, we didn't get that double wipeout for nothing. We're going to be taking that point from Humpback Rainmaker.
And now the opportunity for Fun PB to tie Low Ink history with the greatest run of all time has been squandered. The best record from any team to win Low Ink in the 2-day format since 2020 is Rising Matrix, who ran through the entire tournament only losing once. That is the second loss that Fun PB has, so now Rising Matrix still stands alone with a record that you shouldn't really have. Like in a skill cap tournament, it shouldn't be that one-sided. But Disgusting Pickup Team had to absolutely win that one. And now, what are you going to do if you're Fun PB? You just lost on a team picked your counter pick against you and beat you on it. So now what do you got to do? What's plan B? Technically, they could go back there. I mean, if they wanted to.
No, plan B is taking them to Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge. I'm not so Fun PB. I believe they have a paintbrush on their team. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, more importantly, they got a tent.
Oh gosh.
With a vacuum that they can use.
And of course, that is of note for those who don't know. For whatever reason, Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge. Really, the name of the game is being able to push up those ramps, which can just be extremely difficult. Of course, the other team could just bomb it out. They can just dump their specials in there. And that, once you get past there, you kind of have it made in the shade as long as you don't stagger. Because I would argue on most Clam Blitz map modes, or rather maps, you should be able to just throw in all the clams, wipe, it's fine, everyone resets. But on a Scorch Gorge, if you wipe, expect to see them under your basket, ready to go by the time you respawn in. So having that back and that tent shield going to be marvelous for pushing. And plus that paintbrush, a lot of AoE that's going to force delicious gnocchi out of that area.
For delicious kid cuisine, they have lost 3 full sets in this tournament. They came into this one as a 4-2 team out of Swiss, and they've already lost to Fun PB earlier today. So a lot of losses that they stacked up, but this is still a insanely impressive run that they've had up to this point, and it's not over yet. If they can find a way to get a win here and go up 2-1, that changes the how we view this entire set going forward, because this seems like the unbeatable force in Fun PB. But you get 2 wins in a row here, and on their 2 counter picks, essentially, there's going to be no reason you can't believe that you can't come out of here with the dub. Dreadringer versus Dreadringer. No real shooter at all on the side of Disgusting Pickup Team. Their roller's been eliminated, and now their Dreadringer goes down as well. In fact, the only shooter we got is the Sploosh from Fun PB coming out from Meat 413.
Yeah, honestly, I love to see the variety of weapons, though, but no variety of people up. Everyone is down into a wipeout there for on Disgusting Pickup Team. I think Fun PB showing up to the party with, I think, their pockets a little bit empty. Never mind, I'm wrong. That is a lot of points on the board right underneath my nose. And you see they've already pushed it past that 60-point mark, down to 26, and they are still going down to a 6 pop gun. It has been 1 entire minute, and Fun PB has already done marvelous things on the board.
Well, we are certainly playing the video game right now, aren't we? If we were the Disgusting Pickup Team, you still got plenty of time to get back into this one, but Fun PB, you got to be feeling really good how that last game just ended, to come out in the first minute and just put a stamp on this game and get yourself in a good situation where you can rebuild all that confidence you've been building back up. And look, they're popping the basket yet again. 2 more players down. They do have an inkjet they can use defensively as 2 more players get splatted here. But this is going to be the problem that Disgusting Pickup Team has defensively, is that, yes, every time the basket pops, you get a Mercy Clam to work with, but it gets just, you're getting closer and closer to getting KO'd. And you have to basically get a knockout if you want to find a way to win this one as well. So here goes the basket being popped. They're not going to get anything out of this. They're going to get wiped out. They might just lose the game because of this.
I mean, true, but at this point, I would be kind of desperate for those points, but like we mentioned before, wiping out kind of not an option here, because already Fun PB has pushed up all the way. There's just 1 member, but they get wiped out before they're able to bring it down to 1. That was a close one. And so now Disgusting Pickup Team trying to regroup, make their way at the basket in kind. Not necessarily going to happen. I think that they are biding their time to make sure that they do not overextend, but they have they have 2 clams in their pockets. They have a nasty clam economy, but what they don't have is the players up to make a sufficient push. So they're going to be locked out there, and I think Fun PB getting ready once again to see if they can get this final push in.
Fun PB, just by popping the basket, will get it down to 1 point remaining. And if they don't get that 1 point there, I think it would be a point of where there would be enough penalty points right here. They don't get the throw on top of that, so they don't connect to the basket right there. But does it matter? No, because the 10's going to find their way in. They throw 1 more clam. Fun PB dominates on their counter pick there. They go up 2-1 in the set and are 1 game away from winning the tournament.
Yeah, in a really dominant fashion. You see why this was their counter pick. You know, it could have done something to the mental for a team to pick your counter pick and win. Sometimes it's just like, oh gosh, you know, it's kind of a way of showing dominance. But I think Fun PB in that showing said, listen, we're not sensitive to that. You cannot show dominance over us in this absolutely decisive win. Yeah, it was honestly a little bit of a tough watch with how it felt as though they were permanently under that basket, just chipping away. I don't think, Popgun, I've ever seen a 47 penalty in Clam Blitz in my life. Oh, what a starting push for them.
Well, here we go. Disgusting Pickup Team yet again faced with another counter pick. They can't go back to Rainmaker Humpback because they won on it already. They could go to Tower Control, which didn't work out well at all. They're going to have to go to a mode that they haven't really been successful with. Their other win that they've gotten is Splat Zones at Ship Shape. But again, I mean, I guess you don't really have much options at this point of what you want to go to. So we'll see. I'll let them make the decision, and then I can be critical of it if they lose, or praise them if they win. But
I can be critical, and then they win and they prove me wrong. Just like we saw before, because honestly, I mean, clearly I thought Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track was a wild choice, and they picked it nonetheless. So maybe, you know what? Maybe these teams are keeping a running roster of the counter picks of the other team, and they're saying, let's go that. Let's go their counter pick to just try and psych them out. Obviously, we see now there is no psyching out to be had. Fun PB very much so is locked in. So, what are we looking at here? Tower, or... I mean,
Yeah.
what is it? What would you pick if you're in this position?
Well, I don't want to go back to Clan Blitz against Gumshoe, Detective Gumshoe's 10th. And especially just how that last one ended. You can't go, obviously it's illegal to go to Rainmaker in general.
You gotta go to Tower.
And that's what they're thinking as well, Tower Hagglefish. Now, again, the two Tower Control games that they played previously, they did have a pretty decent lead in it initially. The problem is Fun PB, over the course of the 5 minutes, was able to get back into control of things. So maybe Tower Control is the right call in this particular situation. Hagglefish is a map that they played on last time, so they want to run it back. I mean, why not? I feel like Tower Control is the correct answer in this particular situation. And if you were to win this one, Fun PB would either have to go to Rainmaker or go to Tower Control. No, wait, no, it's just your most recent win. They could go back to Splat Zones if they wanted to in Game 5. But you just got to worry about Game 4 right now. If you're Fun PB, just close this out here in the tournament and go along your day.
Yeah, they clearly, Fun PB, they've got their hot dates that they've got to tend to. Perhaps Rainmaker Humpback, a little bit of a setback for them, but they are on a schedule. So they will be looking to run it back from last time, get yet another win on Tower Control Hagglefish, on Disgusting Pickup Team like they've done before. But I know that you mentioned things were a little bit close before them last time. I was not able to see that set, but if that's the case, then maybe it's not necessarily... We've seen them make this counter pick, and even though they didn't win it, there are times clearly where they don't win things and they can still turn it around. So perhaps this will play to their strengths. We see a Luna Blaster, this one with Zip. I don't think... Before, I think it was the other Luna, no?
We do see from Delicious Case of Diaz, one of their players was actually in chat saying, get ready for line markers, chat. Well, you'd have to be alive long enough to use the line marker from that slosher that you're using right there. And Fun PB able to start pushing up. Yes, they are using the Zip Caster with the drop roller to try to keep themselves alive as they land on the end of the Zip Cast. But here goes Meat Boy number 13 saying goodbye to one of the players as just the brush is left alive, and that's all they need. Getting two splats on top of it. Now it's the brush versus the Brella, and that's going to be another win. Who's this? Momo, I can't. Momo.
They're moving around.
Momanga. You're doing a good job, Brush player. Good job.
Yeah, definitely a strong showing here from Momanga again. And of note, Fun PB gotten past what I would argue is the hardest checkpoint, period. Once you get past that second checkpoint, it can just be extremely difficult to stop you. And you see that right now. We might see this push all the way down to 0. And we do in and out. Fun PB gonna be able to make it to their hot dates. That is a 3-1 here, giving them the low ink championship here and the gold medal.
Momanga fastest called game. That Brush player was the last one left alive in a 1v2. Eliminated 2 players, turned around and said, all right, who wants to catch these hands next? The Barella said me, and so it was like, all right, eliminated that player, and just started pushing up and fell asleep in the enemy spawn, knocking out everybody left and right. Fun PB tearing through low ink, only 2 losses the entire weekend, none of them sets. However, all individual games, they're able to come back and in a dominant performance close out the tournament. By the way, a couple of those players they just picked up from the sub application channel. I believe I DM'd Fun PB earlier in the week and be like, okay, we're banning a couple of these players on your initial roster. So for them to even play, they went to the sub applications, grabbed 2 players, and look what happened.
2 players! If that isn't an endorsement that you should consider being a sub for Low Ink, I don't know what is. That is a gold medal for Fun PB and the subs that they're playing with, just shy of Rising Matrix record. But clearly an incredible run throughout the entirety of Low Ink, and a congratulations to them for getting banned. And, you know, delicious potato curry. We'll definitely be seeing you next time, this time with you continuing the bit, I'm sure.
Well, that's just if they don't get banned in next month. I mean, this is
Oh,
a
true.
fantastic performance that they put on right here, and if they can capitalize off of this, because they are going to be playing at Octofest next weekend, actually. So there's a lot this team can go and improve off of from the confidence they're going to get from this Low Ink run. And they do play in a lot of other tournaments as well, open invite tournaments. They don't shy away from competition, and it's starting to show. But Fun PB is your champions this time around. They have won this Low Ink. We took the month off. It is good to be back. And you know what? That was such a good Low Ink. I think we'll do it again next month. I think we'll do a November Low Ink. What do you guys think? You guys want that, or we could do something else, I guess. I don't care.
If you say so, and only because you said it just now. I was personally campaigning for there to be, but you said it just now, so I think there will be a Low Ink next month. Good suggestion. And I had lots of fun with October though, and I had lots of fun commentating with you, Popgun.
Sasu, where can people find you? Go ahead, plug yourself.
You can find me at Sasu in your pants. That's SASUIN, the letters UR, pants. That is all my social media. If you type it in and it comes up, that's me. If it doesn't, I don't have it. Not to mention, I will also be at Big Dapple in New York City this December 6th. So if that is a local for you, or if you're willing to travel to come to New York City, be sure to come out. And one last plug, there's also a new land in North Carolina. And I know that's a lot closer to a lot of other people. So be sure to go there as well. But I've been droning on long enough. Give me your plugs, Popgun.
Well, I was just going to say, that's in January, correct? The North Carolina one?
Yes, January 2026. Do not flounder at the function is the name of the land.
Well, you will find me being excited because my wife DM'd me during that set. Maybe she overheard all the... I think we got sushi. So I'm excited about that. So you can find me munching on that. You can also find me on the podcast tomorrow on this very channel, 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, where we will be talking about Week 3 of the Splatoon 3 North American League and recapping everything that you saw this. Be able to tune in for that. You don't want to miss it. Or if you do, there'll be a VOD up somewhere, I'm sure. With all that being said, from all of us here at IPL, the wonderful and talented streamer behind the streams for this entire weekend, for the third Low Ink in a row, say nicely done to you. For the head TOs for this event, Hoenn Hero Brush and myself, and all of our lovely and talented staff who work all over the month to verify players, watch things in help desk, and break the tournament when we don't know what we're doing. We thank you for paying attention and being a part of this event. We will see you back next month for the November edition of Low Ink. And congratulations to everybody that's going to be going out to Octofest next weekend. We'll see you. Well, I won't, but somebody will see you there. Good luck again. Have fun. Good night.